the center of the college football universe, but don't tell that to the 100,000 plus that are here to watch number 2 Texas take on number 4 Ohio State. This has the feeling of a national championship game, but it's not a BCS game. It's the BCS Spotlight game presented by EDT from here at Ohio Stadium. Number 2 against number 4. John Saunders, Greg James, and Aaron Taylor. The last time we saw Texas quarterback Vince Young on a national stage, he was carving apart another Big Ten team, Michigan, in the Rose Bowl. This year he hopes to get back to the Rose Bowl, and if he does, he'll be playing for a national championship.
There's no question, guys, that tonight is a special night, and because of that, sometimes young players try and do too much. Well, Vince Young and the University of Texas Longhorns are guys that can't do that. Instead, you need to be relaxed. You need to trust what you see and give what the Ohio State defense gives you. If they do that, they'll be fine. Vince Young and the Longhorns don't need to go out there and be great. If they go out there and be who they are, their greatness will shine through.
The same thing holds true for the Ohio State quarterback, whoever that is, Zwick or Smith out on the field. But Young has a guy that I think could be a difference maker in this football game. Dave Thomas, the tight end for the University of Texas, will be an outlet. Once A.J. Hawk finds Vincent Young on the corners and he's scrambling around out there, Young better get rid of the football. He better find Mr. Thomas in the flat and get the heat off of him because A.J. Hawk's going to look him up.
It's been a bad day in non-conference games for the Big Ten with Michigan and Iowa losing. Does it stay suit here?
I like the Sooners, the Longhorns in this one.
Usually the team that scores the most points wins. Tonight, I think it's going to be Texas.
Yeah, okay. We will see you again at halftime. Enjoy the game. Right now, let's join Brent Musburger.
All right, John, an electric feeling down here on the floor of the big house. Folks, I've been down here for about an hour, and I've never seen anything quite like this in September. For the first time ever, Ohio State and Texas over in the tunnel. The Buckeyes are coming out. Let me talk about the mood down here on the field. Both of these teams, the youngsters, the players, are so excited. You could see it in their eyes. There was not a lot of chatter. They were not talking. They were listening to the coaches. The coaches, too, are very exciting. A couple of the veterans came over and said, big night, isn't it? And then they looked around at this crowd in excess of 100,000 here tonight. Most of them got into their seats early, and when Vince Young, number 10, came out, there was a huge cheer. And now the Longhorns of Texas pull onto the field. Right now, let's go to Jackaroo with Coach Jim Tressel. Jack?
Well, right now, Brent, what they were doing was checking out the coin that'll be used today. Now, Ohio State has 2 outstanding quarterbacks. And for you, Coach Tressel, it's a tough decision. Will you play both of them?
Oh, we absolutely will. Justin will start and get a couple series. Troy will get in and get some series, and then we'll go from there.
Now, who will get the start? Justin will?
Yeah.
How long will he play?
Well, he'll play at least 2 series, and then Troy will play 2, and we'll keep rotating a little bit and see how it unfolds.
This is an electric feeling here in the Horseshoe. Right now, it is unbelievable as we continue to count down for kickoff here at the Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio. As Brent said, it may not be a BCS championship game, but boy, it sure has the feeling. We'll be back with the kickoff next here on ABC.
Welcome you to the ADT Spotlight game. It is the number 2 Texas Longhorns against the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes here. Good evening, everybody. Partner, I guess I don't need this in my ear. It's not that noisy up here in the booth. We've talked about Vince Young. We've talked about Ginn. What do you do to defend Vince?
Well, let's talk about Vince. He's so fast and he's so good. You have to have the right type of team to stop him. Ohio State has that type of team. You have to have linebackers that can run, and you have to have good size because he's so big, and Ohio State has those type of guys. And then you have to be a little bit patient because there's no magic bullet. He's going to make some plays. You just have to keep playing.
Now, what about Ginn?
It's a little bit more of an advantage for Texas because they don't snap it to Ted Ginn every time. Texas must find out where he lines up every time and then go after the guy who gets the ball first, the Ohio State quarterback.
All right, Gary, right now, let's go down below to Jack, who is with Mack Brown.
And the Longhorns coach have made their living lately playing wide open, no holds barred. Will that continue tonight?
Jack, we're going to play that way tonight. What a great setting for college football and great respect with these two institutions.
How impressed were your players when they marched into the horseshoe tonight?
They're impressed, but they've been in nice places before. This just makes it more fun for us.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Jack.
Texas won the toss and deferred. So the Buckeyes of Ohio State, with Zwick taking the first snap, will go on offense. Jim Tressel's record in big games is phenomenal. And folks, this is a big game. You see Ginn, number 7 over on the right. Santonio Holmes is also back there deep. David Pino is the kicker for the Longhorns, number 15. That was a change that Mack told us about during the pregame warm-ups. He will kick the extra points and the field goals, which means, of course, that last week's kicker, he will just do the punting. So Richmond McGee is the punter. Pino with the ball on the tee, and we're about to be underway. Keeping it away from Ginn. That was part of Mack Brown's strategy. However, Ginn runs up and fields it, and the Buckeyes will start with excellent field position. So the Buckeyes anticipating that shorter kickoff, and they are ready for it. We will see Justin as a starter, but Troy Smith will be in there. So let me take you to their new defensive coordinator in Austin, Texas. And Gary, it is Gene Chizik, did an outstanding job with Auburn. Now, what's his task here?
Brent, he will attack the quarterback, and when you blitz, you must be up on your assignments because big plays can happen. And then also, once those speed guys, Holmes and Ginn, get the football, Texas must tackle tonight.
Justin Zwick, the junior from Massillon's Washington High School, 6'4", 225. The winner in the bowl game and in last week's opener. They open in the gun. And they will throw a screen incomplete. Was it a lateral? No, it was an incomplete pass. This crew is a Big 12 officiating crew. And our offensive coordinator, Jim Bowman, he will have Santonio Holmes out there with Ginn. Stan White when they need a fullback. Antonio Pittman will start at tailback. Ryan Hamby, the talented tight end. Dadish, Sims, and Nick Mangold with Downing and Barton. Mangold is the leader of this improved offensive line. He makes the line calls. You could see his eyes as he surveyed the set. And now he's pointing out what they have to do. And Zwick comes up under center for second down. Here's Pittman's first carry. Picks up about 6 yards on it against this defense for the Texas Longhorns. Crowder, Oakham. Rod Wright is the All-American, and Brian Robinson. So 4 Texans, and then the linebackers. The leader, Aaron Harris, number 2. 3 more Texans. And this defensive backfield, Ross, Griffin, Huff, and Cedric Griffin. No relation, although Griffin does have a twin brother on the sideline. Here is Huff. He can play both corner and safety.
And there's Ginn right there.
On 3rd and 5, got the first, dropped the ball, incomplete, waved it off. It looked for a moment like they were going to pick it up with Anthony Gonzalez, the 3rd wideout, but he didn't hang on long enough, and Ohio State punts.
Oh, that was very, very catchable ball. Good throw by Justin Zwick. Very quick in his hands and out of his hands. You saw Ginn run a little bit of a decoy, and Justin Zwick put it right there, a drop ball.
A.J. Trapasso. Aaron Ross back deep, fields it at the 12-yard line, and he is down at the 10. Dante Whitner. And now we're going to take a look at Vince Young, the all-everything quarterback. And, of course, Jim Haycock has his hands full here tonight, Gary, as the defensive coordinator.
2 P words are the words tonight for Ohio State. They must be patient. Vince going to get some. And they must be physical. They want to win the physical battle in this game for if you're Ohio State.
A.J. Hawk, the All-American linebacker, number 47. The Buckeyes split one of the backers out to pick up the slot receiver. Completed on first down to Quan Cosby, and A.J. Hawk is there defensively. We'll mention these linebackers all night long. And for Greg Davis, he'll have Swede will be one of his wideouts. Brian Carter, the leading receiver a week ago. David Thomas, a fine tight end. This, folks, is probably the best offensive line in college football. Scott and Blaylock, what tremendous tackles they are. And Will Allen, the guard, number 72, gets down. Young is back in the shotgun. Second down and 8. Selvin Young, the ball carrier, and Kudla, Mike Kudla, makes the stop. Now Greg Davis coordinates Selvin Young and the rest of this offense, which we mentioned. And Nate Sally is a big play safety for the Bucks, and tremendous size, as these safeties have to be always aware of Vince Young, trying to prevent him from what he did against Michigan in the Rose Bowl. That's their goal. Third down. Here's Young, the runner, looking for the first down. He's going to get it. There is his first carry. And Gary, he just took off around the right side, and he just outran some players, and now a little John going on down there.
Not only that, but Texas offensive line that time blocked up well. Ohio State was expecting a pass on the play. This was a called lead draw. You see the block on the linebacker, all out of space right there for Vince Young, and into the secondary. That Texas offensive line knocked down 4 different Ohio State players.
On 3rd and 7. Vince Young rushes for 10 yards. So number 10 picks up the first down of the evening, and from behind him in the shotgun. Folks, there's not a seat to be had. Look at those folks standing up back there in the aisles and everything. Vince is back. He throws a screen to Ramonce Taylor on the outside, and it was number 42, Bobby Carpenter, for this Buckeye defense. And now let's talk about this defensive line. Quinn Pitcock is the ringleader there with Kudla, Marcus Green, and David Patterson. And then the best trio of linebackers anywhere in college football. Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel, A.J. Hawk. The underrated defensive backfield. Yabodi, Sally, and Whitner and Everett, they don't receive enough credit simply because the linebackers are the fellas that everyone always talks about. Kept it. Got another first down, breaks free at midfield, and he has the angle, so Whitner would not give him any more than that. But here he is, Vince Young, 32 yards. He has now run for 42 yards, and he's barking away, saying all day long, folks, all day long.
You could see the false pull this way, and then Vince Young goes the opposite way. Misdirection play for the quarterback, one-on-one to the outside. You see David Patterson takes the bait, and what did Jim Tressel tell us, Brent? Vince Young likes to run to the right. That's both plays to the right. They had the scouting report on him, but they still can't stop him.
And off inside to Selvin Young. Now this is linebacker A.J. Hawk talking about stopping Vince Young.
He's a very elusive runner. He makes a lot of people miss, and he breaks tackles. He's a big guy, and the problem with stopping him is he can also throw the ball. So it makes it tough as a defender to stop a guy like that. You just have to, I think, have a guy accountable for him and make sure you realize where he is on the field.
It's one thing, Brent, having a guy account for him. There's another thing, being close enough to make the play. Space is so important when you got a fast guy like that.
Texas first possession of the game, following the lead blocker for another first down. Vince Young. starting to pile up the numbers already. The first player in Texas history to have 1,000 yards passing and rushing in a season. He, of course, was the Rose Bowl MVP. Rushed for 4, threw for a 5th touchdown. In the first 2 seasons, completed 59% of his passes, better than any Texas quarterback. And he has just rushed for another 10 yards. He's already got a half 100, folks, and we're just underway. This is their first drive of the game. He's going to throw it. Incomplete as his wide man, Terrell Brown. Check that. That's Billy Pittman, I believe, coming.
Fell down. That was a perfectly thrown ball. Let's look at the game plan for Texas. Stay balanced, and you know Texas will do that. They will try to get the ball, running the ball and throwing the ball. When they're on defense, they must stop yards after catch for Ohio State, and when they're on defense, attack that Ohio State quarterback.
2nd down and 10. You can see Carpenter move between the end and the tackle for the defensive front. Hawk is trying to get the fumble, but Texas falls on it. Alertly, Texas recovers it. David Thomas, the tight end, saves the moment for the Longhorns.
Well, Ohio State was ready for that play. Anthony Schlegel, A.J. Hawk, both linebackers got to the outside of that play. Even if that pitch was properly executed, Ohio State would have stopped that one for no gain.
Brandon Mitchell in as the nickelback. Schlegel's the middle linebacker. He's one of 2 Texans in the starting defensive lineup for Ohio State.
12 seconds.
Going to change the clock here, I believe. That I heard the tail end of that. 12 seconds.
Again, the Buckeye defense must be patient. You are not going to stop this spread every play. You have to just kind of swallow your pride a little bit, stay with the game plan, and make tackles.
Well, Randy Crystal and this entire crew out of the Big 12. They worked the Oklahoma game last week, the upset by TCU down there. And here it is, 3rd and 10 for Young.
David Thomas is a good guy they go to here, the tight end.
He's blocking this time. They come back to the right side. And broken up by Ubodi. He is the other Texan who starts defensively. Well, Ubodi is an interesting story. He's out of Klein, Texas, born in Liberia, moved to the U.S. at the age of 4. Great coverage.
The Ubodi that time was right in Taylor's pocket. This ball was thrown very well, but you see Ubodi, there's no chance for that getting a completion, and Taylor, a running back a year ago, did not shield off the defender at all. That had no chance.
So here is Pino with Matt Nordgren, the backup quarterback. He'll try a 42-yarder. He was very accurate during pregame practice at the other end. Long enough. So the move by Mack Brown pays off. A 42-yard field goal by David Pino. The Horns strike first. That's crucial in a big game. Mack Brown making notes on his paper down below on the field. Now Richmond McGee comes in to kick it off because Mack obviously was not happy about the short pooch kickoff that went too far and was handled by Ted Ginn. So they go back now to McGee to see what he will do. But here is Ginn, and on the other side, Santonio Holmes is, you can see Ginn communicating. Holmes is the captain of the 2 on kickoff returns. And the one that doesn't field it, the other one will jump out and block, especially on punts. So McGee with the ball on the tee. Holmes is caught out. Left hash, got an alley. Holmes to the 40. Penalty flag. There may have been a block in the back very late on the return. A penalty flag was thrown around the 45-yard line as Santonio Holmes brought it out for 51 yards. Well, let's wait for the penalty.
Really is pick your poison back there. Both of them are just as good. Get a little faster. Santonio reads those holes.
holding during the run back. Number 14. It's a 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
See it, they got it into the end zone. Teddy Ginn gets a block to the outside, and look how smartly Santonio Holmes picks it and then gets to the outside.
They're going to spot the ball at the 26-yard line. So Justin Zwick still in the game. He had the first series. We're obviously going to see Troy Smith in this game. Zwick was 0 for 2 on the first series.
It's the 4th different spot that Santonio Holmes has been in so far in this game.
Late shift by the Texas defensive front. And did he take too much time? There was a whistle, and I believe that late shift may have caused Zwick to flinch a little bit. Back there calling signals to see if he should change something, and when he did, he ran out the 25-second clock. There's the play being signaled in from the sidelines. Jim Trussell, of course, he is the play caller. Ballman is upstairs this year, and he will feed down information. But there is Jim right there, along with the quarterback coach.
Ballman right there.
1st down and 15. The swing pass to the 26-yard line. They put it in Pittman's hands again. Well, Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. It's the Eagles and the Falcons. And that's a rematch of the NFC Championship. Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick. A couple of exciting quarterbacks down there in that one. That's down Atlanta way. Here, Ohio State trails Texas as the Longhorns, with their first possession here, marched down, settled for a field goal after Vince Young accounted for 52 yards in 3 carries. Troy Smith, number 10, on the sideline. He'll be in at any time. Jim was not sure when he would use him, but he will use both quarterbacks here tonight. Front holds. It is complete, but short of the 1st down. As you can see, Aaron Harris, their active middle linebacker, making the stop.
All right, let's look at Ohio State and what they're going to try to do in this game. Ted Ginn needs to get the ball 4 times a quarter. That's 16 Ginn touches in this football game. They can't tackle Vince Young, as we've already seen, Brent, one-on-one. They have to triangulate all 3 guys, defensive backs keeping their eye on them, and I think they must win Woody ball. Short yardage, goal line, tackling, hitting. Tough football. They can't allow Texas to come in here and beat them at tough football.
Let's see if Zwick can pick up the 1st down. Here comes Harris on a blitz. They've got it. Santonio Holmes on that slant came across for the 1st down. Talking about the 2-headed quarterback situation, we asked Justin about getting along with Troy Smith, and here's what he said.
Coach Trussell always trusts his team. You know, that comes first, and that's something that we both understand and realize that, you know, we both can bring something to the table and, you know, help the offense out, and that's just that's what we're here to do.
You can understand the emotions of both these youngsters. Troy Smith, he took illegal assistance, $500 if you will, after the Michigan game, so he sat out the bowl game. Zwick beat Oklahoma State. Then they sat him out for the opener. Zwick won that against Miami. Troy is eligible again. We will see him here tonight. Here is Ginn. So Ginn is hit right away by Cedric Griffin. Now he is number 8, and he has started 32 games. And Cedric Griffin is a very, very good defensive back.
And Cedric Griffin is the guy in the newspapers that said, I don't think they run great routes around here. At least Ginn does it. And the guys I faced in practice are just as good. So he's so far keeping Ginn in front of him. You know, Brent, when you watch Justin Zwick, he's really grown up in front of our eyes. He's a much better passer now than he was a year ago when he got benched.
Back in that passing formation in the shotgun. There's that late shift of the nose man, but they can't get to Pittman. You saw the nose man come in, and that was Larry Dibbles. He made the late shift and helped blow that play up. So we're at the bottom of the hour here with Jack Arute and Gary Danielson. I'm Brent Musburger. Pleasure to have you along tonight for what figures to be a very exciting, emotional game. We think it's a record crowd here tonight at the Horseshoe. Tremendous weather. It is a perfect night for football.
Both coaches probably would like to run the football, but when you got guys like number 10, Vince Young, and number 7, Ted Ginn, you got to open it up and use your talent.
The base 4-3 all the way. Zwick steps away from the pressure. Can he run for the first down? Does not. Now there is the element that gives number 10, Troy Smith, a little bit of an edge as Brian Robinson, their very talented defensive lineman, makes the stop. Troy Smith is a little more elusive, just a little bit quicker. They've been selling this on the idea that Zwick is fast enough, but there you could see just a little bit of a difference.
Well, when you're a drop-back quarterback, you have to be a very good drop-back quarterback, and that time it seemed like a little bit of confusion. Give that one to defensive coordinator Gene Chizik.
Ross is back deep again for Trapasso's punt. Waving everybody away from it. This is going to take a Buckeye bounce. And then back to a Texas 1-yarder to the 16. Well, he's coming back, folks. Rushed for 192 yards against Michigan. He got 52 against the Buckeyes. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Jeep. Trail-rated capability only at a Jeep 4x4. IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And Capital One. What's in your wallet as you look down? What's in the horseshoe? More than 100,000 here tonight. So Vince Young on the Longhorns, their second possession, coming out from the 11-yard line. And Jamal Charles, who rushed for a freshman record 135 yards for Texas, is now the running back. He is to Vince's right. They fake. They're going to throw on first down. Hit him on a crossing pattern just shy of midfield. Billy Pittman.
A nice straight route on this one. He runs right by A.J. Hawk. Ohio State does not like to substitute, and watch this beautiful route coming right down the middle of the field, and Vince Young does a beautiful job of putting it right there.
Folks, there is one thing that they did not talk a lot about up here in Columbus that is pretty obvious. Vince Young is a very good faker in that shotgun. Here is his quarterback draw now. Gets across midfield, stumbles just shy of the 45-yard line, tripped up by Ubodi, who comes back as a defensive back. And Gary, take a look at our cheap rushing playbook here, partner.
Well, we've seen him run, we've seen him pass, we've seen him scramble, but this is a designed run. The tackle will go across, fake to the back, and watch the defensive end to the left side of the screen, David Patterson. He goes for the fake, nobody blocks him, and off Vince Young goes, running a successful play.
This time not a fake. Charles, the nifty freshman, for the first down for the Horns. Well, John Saunders and the gang are here in Columbus. That means that Sam Ryan is holding down the fort with all the updates. And Sam, what's going on with South Carolina and Steve Spurrier?
Well, Brent will show you with our Taco Bell update as we head to Athens. South Carolina's Blake Mitchell hooks up with Sidney Rice, the touchdown. Now the 2-point conversion. This is to tie it. No good. Bulldogs still leading this one 17-15, fourth quarter, Brent.
All right, Sam, I imagine Steve threw the visor. He had a man wide open. Reaching is Thomas. Very close to a first down as he reached out at the end, and he's got it in Schlegel. The middle linebacker back on him.
Let's take a look at Vince's delivery right here on this one. It is sidearm. There's no doubt about that. He's 6'6". Watch him fling this ball right here. He's on his toes. He actually throws it below his helmet level. But you know what? When you're 6'6", you can do that. Consistency is the most important thing from Vince, not how high his elbow is.
First quarter, Charles again. And they come across just shy of the 26. And Jack, Vince Young's going to be a big story all night, partner.
Boy, indeed he is. But at the beginning of last season, Vince Young underachieved, at least as far as Mack Brown, his head coach, was concerned. So after the Missouri game, he called Vince Young into his office, and he put this tape into the VCR. It was a tape of the highlights of Vince Young in high school, where he played it fast and loose. He turned to his aspiring quarterback, and he said, "That's what I want from you." Vince Young said, "I understand, Coach, but you got to let me be me." Ever since then, he has been.
Here he is. He was running a little bit of option celebration, and Bobby Carpenter, the senior whose daddy, the high school coach at Lancaster, up to make the stop. Pops played in the NFL for some time. Carpenter's an interesting story for a linebacker, folks. Now, here's a young man who plays the piano. He was on the high school swimming team, and he once bowled at 240. And I dare say he's got the look of an NFL linebacker to him, too.
Absolutely. Now he weighs over 240. He goes about 250 pounds, still runs sub 4.640.
Second down and a dozen for Young and the Horns. Pocket hole, slant, incomplete, and there's flag came flying in. You could see that. Yabodi was there.
Yep.
So Yabodi and Sally was closing fast on the play.
Vince Young got knocked down on that throw also, but it was man-to-man coverage. When you move the ball against Ohio State, they come with the blitz. And that time Yabodi got there a little bit before the ball, and that was an easy call that time.
Well, I thought it was really close watching this. It's a 15-yarder, of course, in the college game, and an automatic first down.
Pass interference, defense, number 26. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Vince Young can just flick that ball. He does not even have to step into his throws.
Back in the shotgun. The ball is inside the Bucs' 20-yard line. Now, both times, if you're a Texas fan, both times Young and the offense have moved the ball against this defensive front. Here comes Vince off the fake again, and it was whistled down. They'll hand it to the field judge and head on back.
Yeah, a lot of times that's illegal formation called the illegal procedure. It's going to be on Texas.
One of the things that I see with Vince Young that you don't see, let me listen here to the call first.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 16, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's the tight end. One of the things I see with Vince, folks, that you know, is that he really enjoys what he's doing back there. He is very comfortable with being a quarterback. There is no question about it. I wondered what we were going to see this year with Vince Young. And I think Mack Brown's biggest recruiting job this year is making sure the big fella sticks around for his senior season down there in Austin. And it's up the screen. Got it into the hands of the running back. To the 10-yard line, short of the first down, is the freshman Charles. So, you know, in fact, we talked to Vince when Gary was down in Austin. He asked him about enjoying himself on the field. Here's what he told Gary.
Yeah, I like to go mess with the defense, mess with the coaches. I mean, trainers, anybody out there. For everybody just have a good time, just love doing their job. I mean, that's what God put us out here for, just to love doing your job, whatever you're doing, and being a great, humble guy.
Here's Charles slipping, battling toward that first down, that yellow line down there. Good-looking freshman running back coming off that big week against Louisiana Lafayette. He was twisting his way for some extra yardage down there. I think the Buckeyes have found out early on that they're going to have to play against Charles and the rest of this Horn team. Remember, way back, when was it, 2002? These were the two top recruited classes in the country. Texas and Mack Brown were #1 with Vince Young, but the Buckeyes were #2. And for a long time, the Buckeye fellas have been saying, man, we'd like to get on the same field and prove who's #1, Gary.
Well, and you know what's happened with these guys is they realize that, and they realize the stakes in this game. And when you were talking about it, you look at these two recruiting classes, they always tell us, let's wait 2-3 years and measure it. Well, we've waited 2-3 years to measure it. You know, those recruiting growers, they're pretty good.
They are.
Right.
Hey, folks, keep an eye on this big fella, number 37. I can hear all those fans down in Austin saying, get Henry Melton in there. And he's on the field. When I first saw him at practice in Austin, I thought he was a defensive lineman. And there he is. He scored a couple of touchdowns. He's number 37. He's 276 pounds. He's listed at 270. Weighed in at 276. How do we know? The offensive lineman who was right behind him, he told us that's how much he weighed. And here it is from behind 37. He's got a blocking back right in front of him. 3rd down and 1. Why not? Here he comes. Bucks were ready, and Melton was too. First down. 1st and goal. Everett up to hit him. They knew what was coming.
Well, he's Max Truck. M-A-C''S Truck, because he's Mac Truck and he's Max Truck, and he is a running back by trade. He's not a defensive end made into a running back. You see his knee goes down right there. And then defensive end playing running back. He's a running back who's some projected as a defensive end, but the way he looks, I don't know. He is comfortable with the football.
A neat 9-play drive. They drove the ball with their first possession and kicked a field goal at the 10:03 mark to make it 3-0. Now we've got 1:45 to go in the opening quarter. Fakes the handoff, throws for a touchdown. Came right back to Billy Pittman, and Pittman has been his most active receiver here tonight. So the Horns in 2 possessions, they shock Columbus with 10 points. And if there's one way to quiet 100,000, it's get on that board early.
Inside receiver, you can see outside technique by the defensive back Dante Whitner, and a perfect throw. Take a look inside. The play action pass held Anthony Schlegel just 1 second to make an easy touchdown throw. You know, he reminds me of a young Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, I agree with that, Gary. Pino, and there's a little touch of Michael Vick though to his running downfield.
He's not as shifty, but he's just as fast. He's just as fast.
Troy Smith, is it about time to bring in Troy? Well, we shall see. Coach Tressel will make up his mind. He's down by 10.
Thrown, Greg Blue the closest man to it, and it'll stop the clock with 1:05 to play.
Greg Blue, who had an interception last week against Boise. You're going to watch him at the bottom of the screen come in and try to rob this square in.
Clear, all clear. Okay, most of the leaders stayed out, but not everybody. Matt.
Cranking on a chassis adjustment for Jimmy McMurray. Donnie Wingo told me early in the race, Dave, they're going to make some pit strategy moves to try to get off sequence with the other leaders.
Matt, the adjustments they made last time for Jeff to try to help him in the middle, but not hurt off the corner, really hurt the car. Jeff said just terrible off the corner.
Out there covering on the play. Intended receiver, Savell Newton.
And Ron, you are right. Oliver right there underestimated that throw, and that was within an eyelash of being a big-time home run to Savell Newton right there.
If he tips it because he's off balance, that is a home run. That is a touchdown. 3rd down and 10.
Again, 5 wide, empty formation for South Carolina.
On 3rd down, he's hit. He's going to be sacked.
Best show in years is First Rate, riveting. Gina Davis and Donald Sutherland.
So let's take a timeout. 50 seconds.
Richmond McGee on to kick it off for the Longhorns, who lead by 10. And the always dangerous Ginn and Santonio Holmes are back deep as Mack Brown and Jim Tressel lock horns here. Mack is in his 8th year, Tressel in his 5th year. In games decided by 6 points or less, folks, Mack Brown has 14 wins and 6 losses, and Tressel has 10 wins and only 3 losses. Holmes runs up to the 2, has a blocking wall, motors past Ginn, looks for daylight, 40, 45, again great field position. And Michael Huff, the strong safety, may have saved the touchdown. That's a 48-yard
and
return.
add 15 late on the play. Texas is going to get 15 more yards. Late hit by Texas. They actually knocked Ted Ginn down after the whistle.
Dead ball, personal foul, kicking team, number 27.
Ted Ginn right here. Watch him all the way. Number 7. You're going to see Santonio go, and then Ted Ginn with his speed will catch up. He'll get a block just outside the frame, I guess, but he gets knocked down.
A buzz in the crowd. Troy Smith, the junior, after a 2-game suspension. So happy to be back on the field. 386 total yards against the Wolverines. 1st and 10. There's the draw out of the shotgun. Reaching out. And let's check in with Sam Ryan in New York. What's up with the Gators of Florida?
Oh, Brent, they're getting it done in the swamp. Chris Leak looking, launches this one to Chad Jackson. All alone there, 80 yards with a touchdown, no problem. His 4th of the season. 34-3 Florida dominating this one over Louisiana Tech. We're going to send it back to you now, Brent.
All right, Sam. Urban Meyer in his 2nd game. And are folks ever excited down Gainesville way? Man, 2nd down now for Troy Smith. Pitch on the option play. 1st down. There is Pittman, and there's the difference that Troy Smith brings to the offense when he puts himself in motion. And they cross the 20-yard line. There is a penalty marker, I believe, however, so hang on.
It's going to be on Ohio State. Don't doubt a holding call coming out from on that option play. It took a little longer, and the wide receivers were downfield trying to stay with their blocks, and they held.
Holding. Offense. Number 50. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, football will be in full swing this weekend. Sunday night, the Colts and the Ravens. Ray Lewis teeing it up defensively, and of course Peyton Manning and all that gang. We'll see if they've got the same beat to that offense. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. That's Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. 10-0 here. Texas having scored 10 points with its first 2 possessions of this football game. Troy Smith in his 1st series since returning for Coach Tressel against the base 4-3. And here comes Smith. He crosses the 35-yard line to the 33. Michael Griffin along with Aaron Harris make the stop. And a reminder, next Saturday we've got regional coverage, and you will be able to watch one of those games. That Miami-Clemson game down in ACC land, that now looms as one of the big ones of the weekend. Clemson again in dramatic fashion wins, and Miami will be trying to come off that loss to Florida State earlier. So we've got 2 number 10s, and Troy saying, come on, let's get everybody fired up here. This game is far from over. But Vince Young has been the major story here so far. He has the Longhorns ahead, 10-0.
When I got the ball in my hand and somebody's chasing me, you know, it's like when you're young and the dog was chasing you, you're not going to let the dog catch you.
There's a lot of horns over there that are trying to catch number 10 of the Buckeyes here tonight. This is Troy Smith's first drive of the game, and of course it has been the most impressive one so far. You'll see if he can get the Bucks on the scoreboard here. Gary, what's your feeling?
I've watched Troy practice twice this year, and he is a very good football player and a good thrower. And this team believes they can win with Troy Smith.
Changing things up. Antonio Pittman switches to the left side. There he comes, and well, the dog got him by the tail that time there. Troy Smith and the Buckeyes trailing Texas by 10, just underway here in the 2nd quarter.
Now this would be almost automatic with Nugent last year. I mean, this was his range where he just kicked them. He had just ice water in his veins. Now, you know, Nugent's with the Jets, and let's see if this is a sure 3 points for Jim Tressel like it was in the past.
This will be a 45-yarder for Josh. Are on the board. Josh Houston's field goal. And it's 10-3 with Texas up by 7. Columbus, Ohio on a gorgeous Saturday night. First meeting ever between Ohio State and Texas. And after the field goal, the Buckeyes will kick it off. From the 5-yard line, Terrell Brown, the other number 5, looking for a hole to the 31-yard line. Well, Gary, you talk about it so much. leadership, and what does Troy Smith bring to this team?
Well, Troy Smith beat Michigan. That's what you have to do when you're at Ohio State. And those players watch Troy in practice. He has that air about him. He thinks he's good. He thinks he's going to move the ball. Vince Young has already convinced his team. Troy Smith has also, but, you know, he made a mistake, and he had to now work his way back in being the regular quarterback.
Now here is Vince Young, rushed for 56 yards. He's also thrown a touchdown pass. And the inside handoff goes to the Selvin Young, who's back on the field. And time now for a moment for our Aflac trivia question. You know, we've got 2 Texans starting defensively for Ohio State, but who was the last player from the state of Ohio to start for the Longhorn? Now, you just said never down there. That's not right. You're wrong.
It's happened.
It has happened.
Ohio State has switched, Brent, from going with their linebackers to now playing 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. They've switched up against this formation defensively.
Well, they're going to put 4 down.
Well, it's Bobby
Carpenter. Carpenter is down,
yeah,
rushing from the right side, and they completed it against that, and Limas Swede makes his first grab, and Schlegel, the linebacker, back to make the stop, number 51, the transfer from the Air Force Academy.
They now have 5 defensive backs on the field, 3, 4, 5 of them, and Bobby Carpenter is down this play. A little bit of different look, but you can see he's off right there. Vince Young knows exactly where to go for the ball. Easy pitch and catch.
So here's another 1st and 10. You can see only 3 down. They crowd to front. They're going to come on it. And he handed off to Selvin Young. And Sam, what about the Gamecocks?
They just couldn't get it done, Brent, today. From Athens we go. Checking this one, less than a minute left. 4th and 19 South Carolina. Blake Mitchell over the middle. Chris Clark laterals to Sidney Rice, but Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks come up short. Georgia wins this one 17-15 the final. Brent, we're going to send it back out to you.
Yeah, it's closer, Sam, than that folks expected down there. And remember, he had a man wide open for that 2-point conversion. Might have taken the Dogs on into overtime. So South Carolina. There's Carpenter trying to get to Young for the backside. Throws it incomplete. Man, Carpenter was closing hard, but Young, you know, the great quarterbacks, they feel the pressure. They just know as we check in with Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, we've all followed what's been going on in the Gulf Coast, the remnants of Hurricane Katrina, and both these universities have taken a lot of the evacuees and students from some of the schools that are closed. But for Greg Davis, the coordinator here at Texas, it has hit particularly close to home. His daughter Stacy and son Greg Jr. were affected. But Greg Jr. reports that he is going to stay with Tulane as they move now and will run out of Ruston, Louisiana the rest of the football season.
All right, Jack, and thankfully that family was okay. Young looking for a receiver is going to go down. He's got to be careful in that situation. He's lucky he didn't lose the football. Dante Whitner, a hard-hitting safety coming up on him, and Vince has got to learn in that situation. There are better days to fight than that one, and you can see Carpenter limping off the field for the Buckeyes.
Zone blitz this time coming from the field, but Vince Young has got that ball. He's tackled by Dante Whitner right there. Now watch him hold this ball. He's trying to get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. He gets knocked down, and he just pops up and runs off the field. Does nothing, phases this guy, and everybody on Texas' bench saw him just pop up, say no big deal.
McGee punts it with Holmes and Ginn to field this one. Back by the 12, slips the first man. Gets to the, let me check that now. That was Ginn, just like I said.
He makes a move, but he couldn't get the afterburners on.
So we'll take a break as Ginn was searching for open sky and couldn't find it. And Pontiac, go online to vote for this week's Pontiac game-changing performance. It's the first meeting ever, and Texas led it by 10 before the Buckeyes kicked a field goal to get on the scoreboard. Troy Smith with that pull out of the option. Shakes a would-be tackler and almost throws a bad pick. Drew Kelson was standing right there. And now it's time for the Pacific Life game summary here. So here we are, the Pacific Life game summary so far. And Vince Young moving the ball with his legs on their first 2 series. And off a fake, then threw for a touchdown pass. So his legs set up their opening field goal. His arm accounts for the touchdown. Troy Smith off the Buckeye bench. And he brought a spark to the Ohio State offense. 2nd down and 10. And Troy Smith was fortunate there. Pittman, 25-30. Out of bounds at the 35. Michael Griffin, Marcus's twin brother. So number 27 gets it done, but it's a 14-yard gain for number 25.
If you look at the Texas defense, they are undersized. That's the style that Gene Chizik likes at linebacker. At Auburn last year, Brent, his linebackers, and they won every game, were 210, 207, and 200 pounds. He's asked the Texas linebackers to get smaller, too. I think Ohio State has to run at them a little bit before they start throwing. They need to see if Texas can pick them up running the ball right at them.
4 down for the Horns on bottle the snap. Smith picks it up on the run. Incomplete, and it will be 2nd down and 10. And Jack, what's the situation with Carpenter? We saw him come over to get some treatment on that foot.
Yeah, it's the left ankle and the foot, Brent. And I was a bit surprised when they pulled the shoe off that he doesn't use ankle tape. He does now. The athletic trainer has added some tape. They're putting the shoe back on. He's been cleared to return to battle when OSU goes on defense.
3 outstanding linebackers, Jack, and there's one of them. He said something that, the media had fun with it, and talk radio, I'm sure, for a couple of days. He said, we don't want Vince Young to leave the horseshoe a Heisman Trophy candidate. I'm sure that the defensive players say that about great players all around the country. Vince just kind of shrugged down in Texas and went on about his business. Off of what we've seen, folks, he's still a Heisman Trophy candidate. Now the inside handoff, just shy of the 40-yard line, Pittman, and we check in with Sam Ryan again in New York.
And Brent, could this be the Pontiac game-changing performance? Notre Dame, Michigan Wolverines building momentum. Chad Henne, the quarterback sneaked from inside the 1-yard line. He was ruled down. It was reviewed. The replays here show he fumbled. Irish recovered, held on for the win. Nominate your Pontiac game-changing performance at ESPN.com. Keyword Pontiac. Brent?
Yeah, Sam, that was an interesting instant replay. It took a while to get the angle that convinced him. It was a good call. Fumbled the snap right away on the center exchange. And complete across midfield. And that time they put it in Anthony Gonzalez's hands. Well, let's go back to the Aflac trivia question. Who was the last player for the state of Ohio to start for the Longhorns? And, folks, he was a good one. Jam Jones. You remember him, the running back in the late 70s out of Youngstown, Ohio. Now, if Jim Tressel was the coach here at Columbus during that era, he'd have said, I'd have never lost Jam Jones. I'd have never let him get out of Youngstown.
Remember early in the game when Anthony Gonzalez dropped the pass from Justin Zwick? Ohio State went back to the same play, and it worked that time for a first down. Gonzalez makes the catch.
Nick Mangold ready to snap the shotgun. Here's the quarterback draw all the way. Here's Smith, first down. And he hauls it out of bounds. Folks, some of you youngins down in Texas way, you don't remember him, okay? He led the team in rushing 4 times, and I know you Horn fans love to see that because that's the Sooners he's battered. And Oklahoma came back today and won. And, of course, they've beaten, they beaten Mac 5 straight times, Gary? Is that what that thing is?
I know I've done 3 of them. That's for sure. I've been there 3 times.
Let's send Keith Jackson in there to do that. Huh? Why don't we do? Yo, Keith, you doing anything on the 8th? First down and 10.
That Ohio State offensive line is starting to feel themselves on this field. They're starting to get some push up front with Troy at quarterback.
Pittman is jammed. And that time the Horns were ready. So Some of the big fellows. Robinson, number 39, he's 6'3", 267. Interesting that somebody that big could have been a track star. He has a 40-inch vertical leap. He blocked 4 kicks when he was high school, and one of the track team he was on, he threw a shot 62.4, right. Discus 183 feet. I mean, this is a heck of an athlete. Right
Came here as a linebacker, and he grew into a defensive end. Kind of a hybrid player to the outside.
There's so many great athletes on these two teams here tonight. 2nd down and 10. Here he comes again. Obviously, the Buckeyes have seen something that they can exploit. Bobineau, remember, there is no Derek Johnson, their great linebacker of a year ago. He will be suiting up tomorrow for Dick Vermeil and the Kansas City Chiefs. And Derek Johnson forced 9 fumbles last year when Greg Robinson was the defensive coordinator. Now, Harris is a terrific middleman, and he was there. You cannot replace a Derek Johnson. He was just one of the best outside linebackers we've seen during the last decade, and I'm sure Vermeil and the Chiefs are happy to have him. They'll tee it up against Herman Edwards and the New York Jets tomorrow as the NFL jumps into full swing. They show blitz, and they may have jumped, or the lineman may have stood up on him. Huff showed blitz when he stepped into that hole, and it may have caused a lineman to flinch. Let's see.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 77, offense. Remains 3rd down.
And that's Rob Sims, the 310-pound senior guard. So at Valvoline, the halftime show will be coming up. John, Craig, and Aaron are here. They'll look at all the highlights from the game, including Notre Dame's upset of Michigan. There they are. Fellas getting ready over there. You bet. Yeah, good to see you, John. Craig, there's Big Aaron over there on the left. Now, he wasn't gloating about the Irish, but you know he's happy, folks. He's really happy. They're 2-0. Aaron, he's about the size of this running back Melton that we looked at for a time for the Horns, Gary. Now that I think about it.
Same weight.
3rd down and 8. Here's Troy. Pocket holds firm, goes deep. Santonio. Touchdown! Touchdown! Santonio Holmes, the other wide receiver. 36 yards, and the Buckeyes are just an extra point away from tying up the game of September.
1-on-1, Texas has their best man-to-man guy, Cedric Griffin, on him, but watch this perfectly thrown ball. When you throw it like that, there's no coverage that can stop it, and Santonio catches it over his shoulder. Troy Smith throws a strike.
Here is Houston. Folks, as you watch this throw, let's just say one thing right now. End of any quarterback controversy right here. A strike, and we're deadlocked. Did he come out? Did he come out?
That's a safety.
He's got to get out if he doesn't escape. That's Taylor.
Oh, no.
He's gone down the sideline. Have you ever seen anything like that, folks?
Goodness.
Just when you think you've seen it all, there comes a moment in a game when you say, I never saw anything quite like that.
He broke the plane. When you break the plane right here, watch him. He comes out, touches the line right there with his right toe. He looks down, and now if he's tackled, that's a safety. One missed tackle. Outruns the guy. Stan White right there. He can't run with him. Gets it, and it looked like he might have a chance, and Ubodi makes the play.
So Ubodi saves a possible touchdown. Vince Young with the score tied at 10. Back in the shotgun. Young keeps it in the middle. He runs for 8 yards, and back we go, Gary, to this touchdown.
Looks at X's and O's here. Here's the middle of the field, right down the middle of the field. There's only 2 guys to the one half of the whole field. If you're the quarterback, Brent, where are you going to throw it?
Yes, sir.
Right over there, right?
Absolutely. Your eyes have to light up.
Exactly. There's no one else on the other half of the field. It's like going out by yourself and practicing.
7.5 minutes.
Not a lot of film study needed on that one, is there?
No, sir. Fumble, and he gets down on it. I think he got down on the ball. The Buckeyes, yes, you see, the referee's right there, right on top of it. Once his knees go down, you know, in the NFL, you have to be down by contact, but not in the college games. That's quite a difference. So Mack Brown survives that scare. Mack Brown and the Horns were up by 10. Now they're deadlocked, 7:08. Troy Smith has come in. He's been the difference for the Buckeyes here in this game. Nickelback is in for the Buckeyes. Mitchell gives them 5 defensive back. The bell starts to toll. Whitner bluffed blitz. Now he comes up to the line of scrimmage. They've got Young contained, and they've got him intercepted. And A.J. Hawk has got it, and he's rumbling. 25-20 down to the 17-yard line. A.J. Hawk, that's his 7th career pick.
Troy Smith got away with one just like this. This time, sometimes you think you're just too good. Kudla gets him, tosses it up, and A.J. Hawk, who they projected to be a fullback at Ohio State, he turned out to be an All-American. And watch, he feels the speed behind him. He protects the ball, and he gets tattooed, but he'll take that one. Ohio State, 1st and 10 on the 18.
Troy Smith will bring the offense back out. Ball is on the 18-yard line. And A.J. Hawk, the All-American linebacker, does it again.
First decision in the game by Jim Tressel. I think it's a good one. The plan was to go 2, 2, and 2. But Troy Smith is hot, and they have to put points on the board here.
And they inherit the football in a red zone after the interception. Here's the quarterback draw, and it is Troy Smith and not Vince Young who is starting to dominate the game. Tim Crowder makes the stop. Well, aerial coverage for the game, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship Bloomin' Onion 1. The Outback Steakhouse specializes in college football and PGA golf coverage. Look for the Bloomin' Onion at sporting events throughout the year, and it's a gorgeous night to be up above the horseshoe here in Columbus. You can see all the red light, burnt orange. Though there's a lot of Texas fans. Some of them paid face value, and some of them paid a whole lot more, folks. Tickets upwards of $1,000 on eBay for this one. 2nd down and 6. Here he comes again. Same play behind the right side of that offensive line. And the Texas defensive coaches, Chizik and friends, are going to have to shore up the left side of the defense because Smith is having a field day running over there.
Watch Nick Mangold right here. He makes all the calls on this line. He turns around, he switches the plays, he comes off. He's got a lot of smarts, a 3-year starter, and he makes all the run blocking calls and the pass protection calls.
We've got a timeout called by the Buckeyes. Jim and Troy are talking it over. We're even at 10 apiece. You're watching the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT, and it's a dandy. The Longhorns went out by 10. The Buckeyes have battled back, and we're all even with 5:15 to go here in the first half. 3rd and 3 for Troy Smith. You see the first down line. Sacked. Thrown down by Crowder from Tyler, Texas. Went to John Tyler High School, and huge stop by number 80.
Great coverage in the secondary that time. Troy Smith was trying to go the ball in a wheel route to kind of flatten up to Teddy Ginn, but Texas would give him nothing, and smartly Troy Smith held onto that ball. They're still in field goal range.
So Houston now for the lead. Trapasso, the punter, is the holder. This is a 36-yarder, and it would, if good, give Ohio State its first lead of the night. Does just that. So the Buckeyes rally from a 10-point deficit, and with 4.5 minutes to go, up by 3. Now it's Vince Young's turn to show something.
The two quarterbacks that we are watching, Brent, they both have the same number, but did you know that they have a relationship that started all the way back in high school when Troy and Vince both went to the Elite 11 quarterback school. Now, earlier today, there was the embrace, two friends that were going to do battle on the gridiron. They've talked to each other before the game. I asked them, any trash talking? They said, no, it's all above board.
And here's Houston's kickoff, Jack. Taylor and Brown again are back deep. And he quickly takes a knee, and he does not flirt with the goal line this time. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. Again, let me remind you now, we've got our coverage in Miami, Clemson, Oklahoma, UCLA. Most of you will see one of those two games, and then the rest of you will check out these Buckeyes against San Diego State. And Nebraska will host a reeling Pittsburgh team last night, which lost to Ohio. And congratulations to Frank Solich. Sellout crowd down there. ESPN2 televised the game. I went over to Champs here in Columbus, watched with the crowd. It was unbelievable watching what was happening. Fake to Selvin Young. Buys Vince time, and he completes it out of bounds, and Everett makes the stop on Sweet, and we check in with John Saunders.
Here with Craig and Aaron, coming up on the Valvoline Halftime Show. We're going to take a look at other scores and highlights, including a bad day for the Big Ten. They're trying to avoid that here. Michigan losing, Iowa losing.
Yeah, they are, and we're going to see if it's going to be another bad day for the Big Ten since Iowa and Michigan lost.
Hey, Vincent Young was running the football well. We'll show you what Ohio State did to slow him down and see if Texas can make an adjustment now.
All right, all the day's scores and highlights coming up on the Valvoline Halftime Show. Brent.
Fumble by Young. Selvin Young fumbled the ball. The Buckeyes think they have it. Yes, the umpire agrees with him. A.J. Hawk in the middle of things again. He is some kind of hawk, folks.
I'll tell you, that Ohio State defensive line, they don't get a lot of publicity, but they are starting to stuff this run inside. They're stunting. You can see how they move. There's nowhere to run, and Selvin Young turns it loose, and A.J. picks it out of midair.
Yes, indeed.
And we will start, I'll bet you, start to see those freshmen for Texas, because Jamal Charles and Henry Melton last week rushed for 200 yards. There's a lot of talent, and Young has been known to put the ball on the ground.
Charles has already rushed for 4 yards a carry here tonight with 3 carries.
Texas did a good job only giving up 3 points last time. Let's see if they can hold again.
On the fake, Smith goes down at the 36 in the arms of Kelson. Hey, I got to tell John and the gang over there that Ohio State's a Big Ten team. You know? Yeah,
they're winning.
A couple of schools, they came back.
Well,
okay.
This is the key one for them, I guess. Hey, Drew Kelson, one of those shifts by Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator. Kelson was a safety a year ago, undersized, only weighs 214 pounds. I want speed, Gene said. He moved him up to linebacker, and you see him attack that play.
From behind Smith, back in the shotgun. Buckeyes using 2 tight ends, and they release.
Whoa.
Oh, what a pop. Ball was caught by Roy Hall, who lined up as a tight end. He's a wideout, and Aaron Ross said none of that.
That was a misread by Troy Smith, and it's a tough one on a slant. He thought Texas was going to be in man-to-man coverage. He thought the corner had the wide receiver. He thought the tight end would be all alone. Texas let the wide receiver go and just standing right there for that tight end.
Smith checking the scoreboard, sees it. Got about 2.5 minutes to go here.
This Texas defense has bowed their neck. This is 2 huge stops.
Third down and 19. Pittman, number 25, off to his right.
Same formation it scored with, but Texas is not doing the same look.
Pulled back out of the option look, fire it, caught, stumbles, first down. Put it into the hands of Gonzalez for a first down, and Gonzalez makes the play of 21 yards on that huge third down.
What a great awareness. This was a fake option. Watch Gonzalez. He knows he's a little short of the first down. He loses his balance, and he dives forward to make sure he gets enough for the first down. Great awareness by Anthony Gonzalez.
So the Buckeyes just convert a 3rd and 19. They're back inside the red zone, and we've got a whistle down on the field.
Ohio State takes a timeout. They're going to make sure.
Take a timeout, and Mac trying to rally the troops again. 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and we'll be right back.
Holy what? Holy Buckeye against my Boilers that day?
I know you guys have never forgiven
No,
me.
I was happy for them. They deserved it that year.
The Buckeyes, Gary, have converted 50% of third downs so far in this game.
Why don't we just say Troy Smith has? He is keeping this defense from Texas completely off balance with the run pass. Great calling of the game by Jim Tressel here.
Another first down in the red zone. Swing and dropped by Ginn. I believe Ginn should have hung on to that ball.
Yeah, that's 2 of them. But you know what? Come on, Teddy. You played quarterback before. They're both from the same high school, by the way.
They're great friends.
You cannot throw the ball that perfectly. Ted's saying, I want it on my front shoulder. And Troy's saying, come on. What do you think? This is not easy. I got 4 guys trying to hit me, and I can barely see you. Catch a ball and run with it, Teddy.
Yeah, they went to Cleveland, Glenville High School, and Teddy Ginn Sr. was their coach. He was also the track coach. Recently won another state championship. He had a little bit of a health scare here recently. I asked Ted how his father was, and he said he's fine. So if he's not here tonight and watching at home, we wish him the best. Again, there's that double tight end look, and the Horns want to come. The slant. Holmes has got it. First down, close to the 5-yard line. Van Holmes is a good-looking wideout. He's out of Belle Glade, Florida, and he got away from all those Florida schools to come up here to Columbus.
This one is pretty easy. When you run routes this square like this, you catch passes, and that's what Santonio Holmes did on this one. Came down, squared it right off on that slant, and look at that throw right in the open area. When you're a route runner, and notice, Brent, receiver, when he thinks it's zone, you don't have to run that slant full speed. Come under there under control, make it easy.
Interesting that they empty it out. They
Quarterback
line
draw.
Troy up alone. They give him an extra blocker. There's the look. And the Horns sniffed that one out. Everybody felt that was coming. And Michael Griffin makes the stop. So we're at the bottom of the hour with Gary Danielson and Jack Root. I'm Brett Musburger, along for what has shaped up for some time as the game of September. They'll go back down to Austin next year, and they will play the rematch game. And I was joking with everybody, is it going to be a night game? I said, Mac, we want to have a night game. He said, no, we're going to make them play at high noon in the heat and humidity. For the coaches, yeah, it's a big deal, but the coaches are thinking, I want some more Louisiana Lafayettes before we get to the Big 12. Folks.
Here they come.
Troy Smith. And through to coverage that time, and it was deflected by Robinson.
I would have liked to have seen an option call on that play. I think right now, 3rd and long, it's going to be tough to stick it in there against this Texas defense. Does Ohio State have some type of a shotgun option play? Might be a good call. They faked the option on 3rd down last time and threw the pass. I like to get Troy out of the pocket with an option or a pass run option.
Watch where that fellow number 4 goes. He'll be at the right side of the formation. They'll put Ginn back there also.
Right there. There's Teddy Ginn. There's Santonio Holmes.
Can they cause confusion here on this 3rd down? Middle incomplete. And they were throwing away from the big fellas that time. And nothing doing as Aaron Harris, the middle linebacker, make the stop.
I think that play, that whole drive got kind of stalled on that first down call of the quarterback draw. Troy needed to take that ball right up the middle. It wasn't there. He ended up losing yards, and it cost him.
Houston again. Stays on track with a 25-yarder, and the Buckeyes lead is 6. 16-10 on the Houston field goals. You know, folks, our thoughts and prayers, of course, are still with the victims of Hurricane Katrina, and I know some of you who got out are watching tonight. We wish you the best, and want to remind folks that you want to help contribute to the Red Cross. There's the phone number, 1-800-HELP-NOW, www.redcross.org. And also a reminder that on Monday night, the National Football League will join in the Hurricane Relief Weekend. There will be a special doubleheader beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And they'll have a telethon. The Saints and the Giants will go first at 7:30 on ABC. Then at 9 o'clock, the Redskins and the Cowboys move center stage. The Saints and the Giants will finish on ESPN. So two of the family of networks get together for a great cause, NFL Hurricane Relief Weekend, and that will be Monday night on ABC.
Brent, maybe a key point of this football game, 2 turnovers, their own territory for Texas. Ohio State gets the minimum, 6 points. This game could have been broken wide open with 2 touchdowns. The Texas defense answered.
But the Texas offense hasn't been able to do much lately. The Buckeyes change up their defensive pattern, and they've had Vince Young surrounded so far. Fielded on the 20-yard line by Brown. Picks his way to the 31-yard line. And it'll be, there's a penalty flag. I think we saw a late push. I think you saw it right in the middle of your screen down there. Let's see what happens. A Buckeye player pushed back. At least maybe that was the second act. It's certainly what I saw.
Texas has all 3 timeouts, so they get it out into decent field position now.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 46 on the kicking team.
Yep.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty. First down.
And as bad as things could have been for Texas, they have an opportunity now to get back 3 points because they're way out now on the 45-yard line and all 3 timeouts remaining.
Chad Hubler committed that infraction. And that a costly one. The coaches will remind the young linebacker is Vince Young now. You
got to wonder, Texas, I mean, they got a break there. Ohio State kicked the last 2 kickoffs into the end zone, and Jim Tressel on that one decided to pooch, and it backfired on him.
Vince Young hit on the release, complete, cross midfield. Charles, the freshman running back, breaks the tackle, breaks free, and he's out of bounds, but inside the 20-yard line. So Charles, and we would expect to see him a lot. One thing that Mack Brown, a lot of coaches won't tolerate, fumbles. And of course, Selvin Young, their veteran running back, coughed it up. And now we'll see Charles. That's a 36-yard run, and what an escape.
And plenty of time, no pressure on Vince. Take something off the throw and watch Charles accelerate on this play. Runs right through a tackle by Nate Sally. Whoa, when you run through Nate Sally, that is not going to go well in that Ohio State locker room.
Time running out here. Quarterback draw. Vince Young searches daylight. And he's well short of that first down. Schlegel, the linebacker. 12 seconds. Timeout. Been called right away.
Look at the advantage. If you save your timeouts, you get an opportunity to score. Buckeyes defense must answer the call. The Texas defense did, but plenty of time to go here.
You know, we ask Mack about Young's maturity as a quarterback, and here's what the Texas coach said.
When he first got here, he just wanted to throw and play, and he didn't want to study. And when he started learning that this is pretty cool, and if you study them all the time and know where to go with the ball, got a lot better chance. And it really excited him.
Well, let's see here, Gary, if he knows where to go with the football. They're inside the 15-yard line. They're down by 6 points. Only 12 seconds to go. They've got 2 timeouts, so certainly they can go toward the end zone here.
I'd like to see him throw this ball into the end zone with Limas Swede, number 4. He's their biggest receiver. Get him matched outside. Still have plenty of time to throw that ball up in the end zone and still have 3rd and 4th down to have one more try and then kick the ball on 4th down.
Pittman's in the game. He's had a big night. Thomas, number 16, an outstanding tight end. Charles, the freshman, stays in the game.
Swedes at the bottom right there.
Vince Young steps up under center to look at the D. It's like 3 down linemen. Linebackers move to the gaps. And they've got him. And it was A.J. Hawk again. Number 47. 2 turnovers and now a big sack with 7 seconds to go, and Texas uses a quick timeout.
Watch Lima Swede right here go inside of his defender. Vince Young is going to look for him, and I think it confuses him. He thought he was going to go to the outside and run the fade. He goes inside. There's no one to throw the ball to on the play. He has to take a sack.
Now the Longhorns have to decide what to do with 7 seconds, and they've taken Young out, so they have sent Pino out right now. They don't want to waste the opportunity with 7 seconds to go. Even though it's 3rd down, they're going to go ahead and take the points, which would make it a 3-point game at the half. And the other play that Mack has in the saddlebag, I don't know that would be a good time to run it. He does have a fake field goal that they work on, just like all teams do. And here's A.J. Hawk. That one coughed up, and he just picked it off.
An interception, fumble recovery, and a sack, and then plenty of tackles. He's had a great first half, just as billed. All-American A.J. Hawk.
Now the holder for Mack is the backup quarterback, Matt Nordgren. And if they do go to the fake, it will be Nordgren up and throwing. But here, just in a tight, tense ball game, 37-yarder. Pino getting set. Yeah, he hooked it a little bit. Ricochet, got it. Oh my, little pool cueing down there, huh?
Comes back. He missed only 1 in warm-ups, and he missed it to the left. We were standing there watching him. This one he hooked a little bit of left, but cued it inside, and I think that's huge. That kickoff return, the penalty, and getting 3 points after you've had 2 turnovers like that, getting back in this game.
So we've had a first half with at least 29 points here between Texas and Ohio State, their first meeting ever. Pretty much a pick-em game. I guess the Buckeyes might have settled as a point favorite, depending on who you read and listen to. But it was hard. It was hard for anybody who follows football to say that they had a reason to pick a clear-cut winner in this game, folks. This is pretty much what we expected.
The more you talked about it, the more you could figure out which other team might win, no matter what you thought.
I think the big story for Ohio State is the return of Troy Smith. Clearly, it gave them a huge lift. McGee with the ball on the tee now. Santonio Holmes and Ted Ginn. Kicks it on the ground. Here's Ginn, 15 up the middle, and he's shy of the 25-yard line, and that's going to do it here in the first. We're told there's a flag down there, so just hang on.
Back right where the kickoff occurred.
Comes the announcement.
Offside. Kicking team. The penalty.
They'll go to the locker room.
Halftime.
So we've got a good one, folks. Got the halftime gang coming on. A.J. Hawk was the player of the match. And let's go down to Jack with Mack Brown.
Mack, how important was that last drive?
Thought it was critical because we lost our momentum with the 2 turnovers. Our defense did a great job of hanging in there and making them come up with field goals. We got to force some turnovers, and we got to protect the ball better the second half. But we get the ball to start the third quarter. Played a great first half other than the turnovers.
So how important is it to get the ball early in that second half?
Well, we get it to start the second half because we kicked it off, and it's key for us because we've got to get our momentum back and take the lead back in this game. They got a great team, great place, great game.
Thanks, Mack.
Thank you.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Well, here near the end of the halftime intermission, 16-13 Ohio State, and Gary Danielson, something a little out of whack that started very much in whack, if you will.
Yeah, it sure did. It looked like Vince Young was going to put on one of those days where he went for 190-plus yards like against Michigan. But the Ohio State linebackers, Brent, I think found their way, eventually judged that speed, and the game kind of changed when those guys started to triangulate instead of just try to make single tackles.
Yeah, I think the pressure that defense suddenly exerted was huge as we get ready. Remember what Mack Brown told Jack Arute as he was going off the field. What's important is we're going to have the football here to start the second half. So Houston with the ball on the tee, and Brown and Taylor are back deep, and Vince Young gets ready.
Plenty of time. Obviously, Vince has been here before. 3-point game, still anybody's ball game.
They'll take it deep. And they'll take a knee coming out in the 20. And look who we found, folks. One of the greatest Buckeyes of them all. The Ohio State graduate Jack Nicklaus enjoying the game with his wife Barbara. Jack, your impressions of the first half, and no Ohio State bias down there.
I think Vince Young got off to a great start, and Texas had Ohio State sitting back on their heels, and Ohio State figured him out a little bit and got a couple of breaks and back in the ball game, and now we've got a horse race here the second half.
Stick right with us here, Jack. We're going to watch the first down here and see how Vince Young and the Longhorns do to start the second half. That inside handoff to start it, and they squeeze out about 3 yards. Jack, when you told Gary you're going up to the Wolverine game, you're going to see Michigan up in it, and he asked you, when's the last time you were in Ann Arbor? Tell us that story.
Well, I was up there in 1956 when Hop Cassidy was playing. Ohio State went up there, and when Manson, Kramer were captains for Michigan, Ohio State won 17-0. I haven't been in the Michigan Stadium since, but I'm going this year.
Jack, it's always great to see you here. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Okay, Brent.
That's a good one, Jack.
Okay, Gary.
Jack Nicklaus, folks. Greatest golfer of all time. Deflected. Diving Sally's got it. Intercepted. 35-yard line. Buckeye football on the deflection. Nate Sally.
Bobby Carpenter makes the play. Number 42. Watch Bobby Carpenter get in front of the throw. Should pick it up. It goes through his hands, and Nate Sally gets the tip on the play. The linebackers for Ohio State are making the plays in this football game. He reads, he reacts, he doesn't catch it, but he makes the interception. Great job by Bobby Carpenter.
Best trio of linebackers in college football. That's not my opinion. That's the consensus of the scouts and the folks. And Vince Young is on the headset talking to Davis. And now Troy Smith puts his tight end in motion like an H-back. Hands off to Pittman. Pittman around the right side to the 31-yard line, and Michael Griffin up to make the stop. And now it's time for the Pacific Life game summary here, Gary.
I'll tell you what, you come from behind like they did, but look at this. Texas is averaging 6.1 yards per carry per play in this game, and they're losing at halftime. That's what turnovers will do to you.
Smith comes up underneath center. Second down and short. Reaches for the handoff. First down. Pittman. And we check in down below. Jack, what the coaches have to say.
Well, Brent, actually, Jim Tressel challenged his defense to do exactly what they did on that series. He brought up a couple of mistakes that they made. He said offensively he is going to stay with Troy Smith. When I asked about the condition of Justin Zwick, he said, I may throw him in for a change of pace. An update on the Longhorns injury list. They're starting to running back Selvin Young out for the rest of the game. He's reactivated that ankle.
All right, Jack. And here on the first down play for the Buckeyes.
One-on-one down here on Santonio Holmes. One-on-one.
And Smith with that option pitch to Pittman. And he is upended by Terrell Brown, one of the young corners.
Really like the option play on this thing. You come down the line of scrimmage, and the most important thing on it is to pitch the ball forward. Get him outside, and he's outside with the pitch. Look at that distribution. Here's the pitch man. He pitches it out like that. That is perfect distribution on the play.
Robinson shaken up is off the field. Arakpo, Brian Arakpo playing for the Longhorns. 2nd down and 8. 4 down linemen. And now a backer moves up tight. Almost intercepted again. And dropping back was Roderick Wright, the All-American. You know, his uncle, some of you folks remember, was Elmo Wright. Played with Houston and the Kansas City Chiefs. And Roderick someday will be another member of that family to play. Watch him drop back and just bat it down.
I think that should be illegal. Defensive tackles dropping back, knocking down passes when you weigh 320 pounds. What is this game coming to?
They can move, folks.
They sure can.
Those big old rascals down there.
I'm surprised that Ohio State hasn't tried to get the ball to Ted Ginn. I mean, he can get the ball in his hands. He's dropped a couple, but they have not concentrated on it.
Now Troy Smith drops it, and it will be 4th down, and another opportunity about to go awry. And that means John Houston will trot onto the field here to attempt another field goal.
You know, there's one thing driving the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line if you're successful on offense and kicking a field goal. That kind of demoralizes the other team. But there's another thing, being the beneficiary of a turnover and not be able to score touchdowns. That helps Texas. And right now, that's the 3rd straight time Ohio State has not been able to get the ball in the end zone. And let's see if they can get another field goal. The last 2 times they did.
44-yarder. He's perfect on the night. A lot of people speculated that Tressel would miss Nugent, and Nugent was one of the best we've seen. But so far tonight, John Houston has been right on the money, and it's 19-13. Vince Young is coming to bat again. One of the great traditions in college football. Dotting the I. Zach Roberts did it. And 100,000 plus in Columbus, Ohio exploded. And after being down by 10 points, the Buckeyes now lead it again by 6, 19-13. Josh Houston with the ball on the tee. I apologize if I said John back there. It is Josh who is perfect tonight. And he drills one. Oh, my. That's a big-time leg right there. Well, some would say down Austin way, my friends down there would say Vince has got him just where he wants him here.
He sure does. In the last 7 wins by Texas, 6 of them have been come from behind. If they're going to get number 8, it's going to be 7 out of 8, obviously.
But Texas has turned it over 3 times in their last 4 possessions. How big is that right now for Vince Young and the Horns? He's having trouble solving this trio of linebackers, and they have adjusted continually. You watch those backers come up, back out, base 4-3, taking it. Hawks got him again, short of the 1st down. And Jack, how about our guy Vince Young?
Well, you're talking about the way he likes to come from behind. All he has to do is look to his wrist, and he says he wears a white wristband that provides him for that inspiration. It simply says heart. He told me yesterday he put it on this summer and said the key is when you have things that aren't going your way, you've got to show heart. That's what he's got right now, and that's what he's going to have to exhibit, Brent.
Yeah, that's what he's shown all along, isn't it, Jack, as an athlete, and that's something that no scout can ever measure when they go out to look at these youngsters. Gives it to his young running back. Slips through for the 1st down. This young'un looks like he's got an upside, this number 25, Charles.
Yeah, that's the guy that said, Texas fans, I'm going to make you forget Adrian Peterson when I get over there at Texas, because that's the type of back I am. Well, I don't think they're going to forget Adrian Peterson, but they got a good one in him. But that's the guy that said, I'm that good.
Well, some of these fellas got a pretty good size ego, but if you're going to talk, you got to walk, right? 1st down and 10. Pulls out, and the Bucs weren't fooled, but he shakes Schlegel, completes it, and loose now to the 4-yard line. Billy Pittman, who has been his #1 target here tonight. And it'll be 1st and goal for Young and the Horns. 63 yards. And watch, the linebacker has a clean shot at him and doesn't bring him down.
They crossed the linebackers inside and miss Vince Young. What did we say? When you get a shot at Vince Young, you got to tackle him. Schlegel misses him, fardens him off, throws the ball. When you miss a sack like that, that's one that could have been a 10-yard loss. Turns around the other way, 1st and goal from the 5.
Opportunity for the Horns. Charles is right to Young's right. Movement by the right side of the line. You can see number 63, Blaylock, pulled up. Costly 5 yards when you get down there in that red zone.
Part of the snap, false start. Number 63, offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and remain 1st down.
Now the ball is brought just outside. Well, it's probably nudging the 10-yard line down there. So the Horns, Mac Brown, have got 10 yards now to make that touchdown, trailing it by 6. The crowd is unbelievable in here tonight. Rolling left, looking for a hole on a cutback. And the Buckeyes stayed in their lanes. That was superb defense that time by Ohio State. Pitcock, Schlegel, they filled it up, and you could see them as they moved in unison with the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Nobody jumped out of the lane. They protected against the cutback.
And the thing that Bobby Carpenter did is he went across that formation and never turned his shoulders. He just shuffled across. Watch Carpenter right there just come across, and he just keeps his shoulders square. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Guy gets his feet, turns it back in, and Schlegel makes the stop.
Yeah, Schlegel did a great job of unloading on him right there in the middle after missing him just a moment ago on that 63-yarder. Now 2nd down and goal. Young again to the 4-yard line, and A.J. Hawk. You know, one of the things Vince is going to find out in a game like this, playing linebackers like this that are pounding away at you, that'll take its toll by the time you get to the 4th quarter.
Sure will. And you know what? It looks like the Ohio State linebackers right now are playing the quarterback and not the running back. They're expecting the fake every time.
So let's see if Texas read that and tries to slip Charles through on 3rd down and goal.
It's got Taylor and Charles in there.
Ball at the 5. Now they send Taylor out to the right. Young again, and the Bucks were ready. Carpenter from behind.
Ohio State linebackers have been monsters. They're big. They're not those small, fast guys, but they run fast enough. I think this was going to be a pitch for a reverse to Taylor, but Vince Young did not feel comfortable and never pitched the ball.
It would not shock me come next spring if Carpenter and Hawk don't go in the 1st round of the NFL draft. We'll see how they measure up.
Brent, you know, I counted 10 players, legitimate 1st-round draft picks in this game on the 2 teams.
25-yard field goal for Pino here. This can make it a 3-point game again on the money. So both field goal kickers have risen to the occasion here in a pressure-packed game. 35 points on the board. 7:36 left in quarter number 3. A field goal separates 2 great schools. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Chevy, the new Chevrolet's American Revolution. Pacific Life for insurance, annuities, and investments. Choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. FedEx for the ultimate and reliable shipping. Relax, it's FedEx. And Budweiser, the bright color and crisp, clean taste you'll only find in the King of Beers. Anthony Gonzalez will go back as a return man along with Ted Ginn. So Gonzalez back deep for the first time. And here comes the speedster. 15 looking daylight. Looking to get by him, and he was slowed up, and McGee, the kicker, pounces on him, but number 7, Michael Huff, slowed him up. A 46-yard return. Gary, are you surprised that they said, here, Ted, show us what you can do?
I'm shocked. They had Gonzalez on the field, and they kicked it long to Ted Ginn. You know, if you're going to kick it long, you got to kick it on the left side of the field. You're just daring this guy to break one. And this, if Michael Huff doesn't make the tackle here, this is out the door for a touchdown. He actually run into his own guy, or it would have been a touchdown. I don't understand that.
And Justin Zwick returns. Number 12, giving the Buckeyes a change of pace here. Up by 3. Zwick comes in, hand off. Here comes Pittman. First down run before Michael Griffin again can bring him down. It's an 18-yard run.
Well, I said Ohio State had to win Woody ball, and that was Woody ball right there. 2 tight ends, take the snap, block him outside, and Pittman, he looks like a new guy. You know, and we asked the coaches about him, and the coaches said, in a word, from last year to this year, he's matured. You can see the type of talent he has because he exploded through that hole.
First down and 10. Pittman is stoned, and Jack, that was an impressive ceremony at halftime, my friend.
And one that needed to be done. As Woody Hayes joined the Heisman Trophy winners in the Ring of Honor here, with the big O that Woody used to wear and his name now posted, and we're going to explain to you after this play the single man that single-handedly ended what was one of, I thought, the glaring errors in the history of Ohio State.
Yeah, Jack, I totally agree with you, and we'll come right back down to you now.
There's Ted Ginn right there. They need to bubble screen one of these two on.
Zwick checked him out. Now he throws. Santonio, no, check down right now. Roy Hall makes that catch down the sideline, and Zwick and the Buckeyes are driving. Let's send it back to Jack.
Here it is. One more play here. Zwick feels the pressure, does a nice job. He's a thrower. You don't have to scramble. One-on-one, put it up. Ohio State's biggest receiver, Roy Hall, goes up and grabs that one. Nice patience by Justin Zwick.
Yeah, I'm glad we saw that replay, and Jack will continue the story here about Woody. We're deep in the red zone now. We're inside the 15-yard line. Zwick will try to finish what he started here.
Roy Hall's at tight end right there.
Here comes Pittman. Fumble! And recovered by Texas.
They're calling it down on the field, though, Brent.
The line judge said he's down.
Yes,
he had a good view of it.
And when they call it down, the whistle goes, and it is not a reviewable call.
If it was whistled down, if that was the key to it, and
yes,
we've got an injured Buckeye, we've got an injury timeout on the field.
Pittman slammed his knee, and that's what it looks like he's holding.
Take a look at this, Gary.
Comes outside. Let's see. Got the ball in his left hand. Comes down just as he's hitting his butt. The referee, you watch him. Down, down, down with the linesman right there.
Yeah, I think the knee was down, and that's what he said. Okay,
Yep.
Let's go back down now, Jack. We've got an injury timeout, and you fill us in on this great story.
Well, I'm standing next to the new athletic director at Ohio State University, Gene Smith. And Gene, you single-handedly righted what I thought was a long time wrong. When you walked into the stadium, what was missing?
Well, I was just surprised when I took a tour and didn't see Woody Hayes' name in the stadium at all, and I just felt he needed to be recognized.
Well, thanks so much for writing that. I know we've got a big play coming up here. This is all the game that you thought it was going to be, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, this is special. I know television's happy, and I'm happy. We're ahead, and we're moving the ball into the end zone now.
Will we see more games like this in the future, or is this
definitely.
a one-of-a-kind?
Oh, definitely. This is all about what it's all about. This is what the kids want to play.
All right, let's watch.
All right, Jack, thank you. And Schnitker checks in as the running back. He throws the block. Zwick's got an open man and didn't get to the tight end that time. He had to throw it out of the back of the end zone. He didn't want to risk it. That was Ryan Hamby. And you can see down is Michael Griffin for the Longhorns there out of the back of the end zone.
That was a nice play by Justin Zwick that time. It was not open. He threw it to the back of the end zone. Either Hamby was going to get it or no one was going to get it. Can Texas hold on again How many times has Ohio State been inside the 20 and only one touchdown in the game?
3rd down and 5. Schnitker out to the right. Zwick. Bobble. No. Couldn't hang on. Hamby had a sure touchdown. Juggled it. Then it looked like he was going to get it. And Cedric Griffin delivered the wallop and saved the touchdown.
What a read and throw by Zwick. He gets his feet ready, puts it right on the numbers, misses it, juggles it, thinks he's going to get it, and then right there, coming from the wide side, Cedric Griffin puts the hit on him and saves the day. Oh, man. Was that quick feet by Justin Zwick on that one? That's why he was accurate.
Here's Josh Houston again, 26-yarder. Got it again. 22-16 as Houston nails another field goal. But the Buckeyes let a sure touchdown escape not once, but twice. What a hit. Timeout. You're watching the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. Our score right now, 22-16. 38 points on the board. 5:12 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Brent, I didn't know if this game could live up to the billing. I think it's better than I thought it was going to be.
I agree. Ball on the tee for Houston. Brown is the return man at the 2-yard line for the Horns.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
At the 18-yard line, and we check in with Sam Ryan in New York. Sam?
Well, Brent, at Sun Devil Stadium, this one a home game for LSU. Jamarcus Russell runs round the outside, fires at 28 yards to Benny Brazil to the 1-yard line. Then Joseph Adai will take it in. Evens the score at 7 with ASU in the 2nd quarter. That's where we are now. We're going to send it back out to you now, Brent.
Well, he had a personal foul on both sides on that play.
That's a good call. Good job right there by the official. Guys are a little bit jacked up, pushing each other. Let's not change yardage because somebody's yelling at each other.
Here's Vince Young.
Watch this hit right here. Big time hit.
Vince Young and the Horns down in the noisy end. And folks, when I say noisy tonight, I mean it. Got it off in time. Pulled it out. Came back to the freshman running back. Charles, the receiver. And Gary, what about our star watch here tonight?
Could be a bunch of different guys, but let's settle on A.J. Hawk. This guy was billed as one of the best linebackers, an All-American linebacker, and he has lived up to it. 8 tackles, an interception, a sack, a fumble recovery. But the whole linebacking crew for Ohio State, 22 tackles in this game. An interception, a sack, and Bobby Carpenter caused the interception with a pass deflection.
And that's our IBM Star Watch here tonight. 2nd down and 5, 4:28. Vince Young working against those linebackers, does not get a first down. And you can see the red shirts, Hawk and the gang collapse on him. Nate Sally, who's been very active.
A.J. Hawk read this play instantly. Watch him bounce into the hole, take on the blocker. Nowhere for Vince Young to go. No space. When you want to stop a guy like that, you close down space, and Hawk took that play on and did it.
2nd-ranked Texas and 4th-ranked Ohio State. The winner of this game figures to be number 2 next week behind USC. It's 22-16. The Buckeyes once trailed at 10-0. They've outscored Texas 22-6 since then. 3rd down and 2. And the whistle. I don't even know how they can hear it down there.
Second time illegal procedure penalty down on the goal line, and now here for Texas.
I think these Texas players are going to talk about the noise down there and trying to hear what's going on. It's been unbelievable. The bell tolls in Columbus. And again, as I pointed out, they're down in that closed end of the stadium. That noise stays there and just cascades down on you. It's as tough a home field environment as exists in college football. Young fires, dropped. Had his target, Thomas, wide open.
Boy, and that's the best hands on the football team. I went out in practice and saw him catch one-hander after one-hander, and he drops a huge one right there.
At the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Richmond McGee trots onto the field, and too deep. Holmes and Ginn. Again, you can see us to the punter's right. Number 4 is Holmes. And it's almost like they're challenging Ginside, although that one went out of bounds. They did not give him a crack at it. And let's see where they spot that ball. Buckeyes are indicating that it went out of bounds.
Great field position again for the Buckeyes.
Great views being provided by the Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion. Captain Tom Wooden is high above up there, looking down on this great scene here on a beautiful Saturday night. Zwick stays in the game.
Well, Troy Smith had 3 chances to put a touchdown on the board inside the 20. Couldn't do it. They go back to Justin.
Zwick is under fire as Tim Crowder rolls in for his 2nd sack of the night.
That was a bust by the Ohio State offensive line. Crowder's a defensive end. No one turned out to block him that time. He's not a linebacker, not a safety. That's just a bust. That's not a misread or anything. Ohio State turned him loose, the offensive line.
Gonzalez brings the play in from Trussell's sideline. Roy Hall and Gonzalez go out to the right. Couldn't find anybody, so he'll hoof it. Steps out of bounds near midfield.
The 2 quarterbacks both said they would play. Troy Smith lit a fire under them. Got him some field goals, but Zwick should have had a touchdown pass the last time. Both look like they can move the offense. You can see why both of them have been able to play.
Troy Smith's touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes in the first half. There's Troy going over some plays on the sideline. 3rd and 3 for the Buckeyes. Got one-on-one, and he overthrew Santonio Holmes. Brown was the defensive back who was sticking right with Santonio Holmes as they probed the deep ball. It is now 4th down and 3.
That was the same formation and same coverage, only the opposite way. When you talked about the touchdown pass, Troy Smith hit to Santonio. They had the same play, now throwing it to the right, and this time the ball wasn't thrown perfectly. Incomplete pass.
Trapasso back to punt again for the Bucks. Ross is standing on the Texas 10. Low snap, scoops it up. And the Bucks will down this one inside the 5. A beautiful punt by Trapasso. The kicking game for Ohio State has been spectacular here tonight. And let us check in with Sam Ryan in New York.
Alrighty, Brent, could this be the singular player of the week? Oklahoma's Adrian Peterson, 63 yards last week, comes through today against Tulsa. 32 carries, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sooners struggle, but they won. Text vote to 87654 in your singular phone for your ballot and a chance to win a trip to the national championship, Brent.
And Sam, that national championship game will be in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The battle cry for these Horns, let's go back to the Rose Bowl. For the Buckeyes, let's get there. 4 down linemen for Ohio State. The closed in as noisy as it's ever been. And the freshman without much daylight. And of course, a reminder coming up after the game, we'll have the Thrifty post-game report with John and the gang. We're right here.
Brent, we talked about the linebackers a lot, but that defensive line, the front 4 for Ohio State, Pitcock, Green, Patterson, and Kudla, they have forced it up too. That's a good Texas offensive line, and they have not been mashed.
And Richardson is now in at one of the defensive end spots on 2nd down and 7. They put 3 down linemen on this obvious passing situation, trying to get to Vince. On the move, incomplete. The one thing that has not happened here for Vince Young, no one has really taken over as a go-to receiver for him.
Vince usually scrambles to his right when he feels pressure. Gets pressure inside, nothing there, doesn't see anybody. He's got the tight end again, David Thomas. Flicks it out there. Thomas runs it, tries to stick out one hand, and doesn't come up with it.
The co-defensive coordinator of this team is Luke Fickell, and he works hands-on with the linebackers. And the young man, first big job, and he's doing a fabulous job here along with Jimmy Haycock, who works with the line down on the field. Young sets the screen, and it was blown up right away by Tyler Everett, the senior corner. This is his 9th start, and Tyler Everett, he smelled that play out and blew it up.
This screen pass was called right into the teeth of the blitz. Reads it, throws it, Dante Whitner feels it and forces it high and then up. Tyler Everett, playing safety a year ago, moves over to corner this year, comes up with a great tackle.
The most underrated unit on this Ohio State team, this defensive backfield. This is one of the best secondaries in the country. And they are showing it here tonight against Vince Young and the Horns. McGee.
Great field position again for Ohio State. Wow.
Working with half the field. Up by 6 points. Remember what we told you in the first half. In games decided by 6 points or less, Mack Brown is 14-6 at Texas. Jim Trussell at Ohio State, 10 wins and only 3 losses. The man has been superb in tight football games.
Sometimes the guy that doesn't make the tackle is helped by somebody else. This time to the outside, Dante Whitner's on a blitz, but he reads the screen, stops, and makes the play. That's what coaches call playing with instincts. Dante Whitner's on a play, senses it out, turns around and makes it.
Troy Smith returns as quarterback for Ohio State. Pittman struggling, trying to get to the 50-yard line. Aaron Harris been active in that middle linebacking spot. It has been a night for defensive players to shine here. A.J. Hawk, the ringleader of the linebacker. Schlegel and Carpenter have been chipping in. End of the third quarter, 22-16.
The time and the day is right. The revolution will begin this Saturday night.
Well, we get ready now to start the money quarter. It is 22-16, Ohio State with the lead. And Troy Smith with a 2nd down and 10 here. In that old familiar power I formation. Ginn comes through in motion. Gonna do the end around with Ginn. Skips, nothing doing, slips free, hangs onto the football as he goes down. Well, what surprises you about the night here, Gary?
Really nothing. You know, I thought Ohio State linebackers would be able to match up pretty well. I thought Vince Young was a great football player. I thought Texas might struggle a bit at wide receiver. I mean, everybody's played about as advertised. Been a great football game.
Yes, it has indeed. And, you know, you would hope that we'd have more games like this. The problem is that it's so tough for these big schools when they lose a game to battle their way back into the BCS territory. That's preventing some of the early season matchups. There will be a rematch in Austin next year of these two. There's Troy dancing across midfield, but didn't get a first down on it. As Brian Arakipo, number 98, there for the Horns. Fourth down and 7, so the Horns figure to get it back here early in the fourth quarter.
Thought Jim Tressel there played a little bit of ball position, field position game right there. 3rd and long, he didn't want to make a big mistake. His defense is playing well. He said, let's punt it down there, see if they can go all the way on us. Because there's no way he was going to run a quarterback draw for a first down there.
Paso punted again. Low, picks it up, got a good pair of hands. And a fair catch at the 10-yard line. Well, Vince Young, let's take a little bit of a closer look at the Texas Star.
My favorite TV show is Martin Lawrence because he's crazy. My favorite place to eat in Texas is Pappadeaux seafood. I love seafood. My favorite movie is Gladiator because it gets me pumped up for the game.
When he hears that noise out there, he's thinking that maybe some of the Lions are around.
Well,
he got to be a gladiator now.
If they asked the crowd, they'd all go thumbs down. They would want him to go for the kill, Ohio State. But I don't know if they're going to get him.
He's all alone back there. He's got wideouts galore. Texas is going to start to put it up. Incomplete, and a big hit that time. That was Whitner again.
It looked like, I couldn't tell exactly, but it looked to me, I was watching it with my eyes up here, that he bobbled the snap a little bit, and that's why he was late with the snap. I don't know if he ever had a good grip on the ball. Shotgun snap, let's see if he does. Yes, he did bobble it just a little bit. He threw it under Kudla on that play. Was that something?
Second down and 10. A.J. Hawk walks out on a wide out. It's Taylor. He was coming in to clean up. A.J. Hawk joined Whitner. One of the beauties of having a linebacker like A.J. Hawk is you can walk him out on some of those receivers. He moves so well.
A.J. Hawk, smart football player, tough football player. He reads things extremely well, runs right through those blocks. And Dante Whitner has had a tremendous football game.
Two excellent safeties. Listen to this crowd. 3rd and 12. Three down. Hit on the release. Got it for a first down. And Carter is the wide receiver on that side. Vince took a licking and threw for the first down. A big-time play by pitcher and catcher. 13 yards.
Mike Kudla that time got Vince Young just as he let that ball go. One-on-one coverage to the outside. Ohio State was spying inside with A.J. Hawk. Nice route. Ball is thrown right on the sideline. And Brent, after Kudla hit him, just take a look at Brian Carter right there. He got up, smacked Kudla on the helmet, and said, nice try.
Being an accounting major means he'll get a job for sure when he leaves school. 12 to go. First down and 10. Vince Young throwing downfield, got an open man, and he has put it right in Billy Pittman's hands. Pittman has been his leading receiver here tonight, and he has found him again. 27 more yards for Pittman. Young has thrown for 229 yards here tonight.
Anybody doubting that this guy's just a runner now? He throws the ball wonderfully. He does not have to overstride. He's got great vision, and he's only going to get better and better and better as he throws more and more balls. He's a future superstar in any level.
It's almost as though Mack and the coaches have said, all right, Vince, let's go to work with the arm. They've tightened up on the legs. Let's see what we can do through the air here. End around, bad pitch by the freshman. Does he get on it? A dangerous play call when you've got a freshman running back like Jamal Charles making the second pitch here.
I watched practice Tuesday. The same thing happened. Dante Whitner was right in the middle of that play with a strong side blitz, and the same thing happened in practice. They fumbled the ball in the reverse on the same play.
You hate to take the ball out of Vince Young's hands, either running or throwing. When you do something like that, he's your best asset. He's your golden boy. Second down and 22 he faces now. Bad snap. Picks it up. Steps away from trouble. Hawk is there. Hawk is bringing him down. This kid is some football player, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a bigger, faster Chris Spielman. And watch on this blitz. They cross blitz again. In comes Hawk. He comes out. He senses the blitz. Now watch him try to wrap around and hit the ball. He tries to swing around and hit that ball. A.J. Hawk, what a game.
10 tackles and 2 sacks for number 47. Unbelievable football player. In high school, he was also a punter, and he averaged better than 40 yards a punt. 3rd and 23. 3 down linemen. Vince Young looking for an open man. Hawks closing in. Carpenter's right there. 47 and 42. We're shutting the window of opportunity. And it is 4th and 23.
You have to have linebackers to run like this to be able to stop Vince Young. If you don't have them, you don't have a chance. 47 right there. Watch him. He's the spy. He sees it and he runs. Watch him run. Here comes Bobby Carpenter up. He cleans it up. Even if it was a completed pass, it would have been short of the first down.
McGee hunting again. Fair catch. And there's a ball's on the ground. I thought they interfered with Ted Ginn, signaling the fair catch, running up, but it might have been his own man who caused it. They might have been working on the gunners, jammed it so hard the crowd thinks that they interfered with Ginn and that the penalty should have been called. We have the advantage of taking a look in replay here. Ginn was coming up. This is no man.
Yep,
he ran into Everett over there. And Everett saves the day if it touched him. Ohio State football. We've got a timeout.
This headline in a recent edition of USA Today tells it all about Ohio State's linebackers. They were eager. They've been eager. Look at their hair, Brent. They made a pact amongst themselves. Neither of the three have been to a barber since last year. They said they're not going to cut it until they win a national championship.
You're pretty long by then.
Oh, wow. Look at those stats. I'll tell you. Tremendous by the 3 linebackers. They've had help up front, but they've been the story.
Justin Zwick returns as the Buckeye quarterback. Pittman, the ball carrier. Now, Santonio Holmes has the Buckeye touchdown catch, and we asked him about being productive in this Ohio State system.
The coaches look for me to, be a leader, and that's pretty much my role. No matter who comes in and takes over the spotlight, let those guys handle that, and keep, doing what you've been doing, being productive for the team.
And he has indeed been productive. Santonio Holmes out of South Florida came up here to Columbus and has enjoyed it tremendously, and he too has a big-time football future. Zwick looks right, comes back to the left now. Gonna fire. Santonio's got it. On cue at midfield. First down. That's 17 yards. Zwick to Santonio Holmes.
Justin Zwick thought Teddy Ginn was going to run an out right here. Watch him as he gets his feet ready to throw an out route. It isn't there. He just goes long, so he has to switch to the other side. He goes all the way across the field. 3 guys coming in on him as he gets hit, and he finds Santonio Holmes. What a play by Justin Zwick.
A lot of quarterbacks don't look one way and throw the other. We saw some of that earlier today. Quarterbacks looking exactly where they were going to throw it every time. Now it's Pittman steps away. Got a chance here for a gain. Just short of the first down. Cedric Griffin, who has been all over the place for that Longhorn defense, starting his 32nd game up to make the first down saving tackle. And Pittman looks like he's just a little slow going back to that huddle. And we'll see if the coaches, if they send Stan White Jr. in as the fullback. There's Pittman trying to shake it off now. He's right behind White. He couldn't get the first down. When the coaches see that, they'll wish they took him out and put another runner in. No question.
Absolutely. Texas was completely confused because Ohio State had unbalanced their line.
Now they're going to have to take him out.
Yep, he was limping badly, and that cost him an opportunity for a first down because there was a cutback there.
You know, that's something that young football players have to learn. Many times in college, we see youngsters stay out there. In the NFL, when those fellas feel that, man, they're getting off right now because a fresh body is always better out there. 3rd down and 1.
Schnitger's in there.
Zwick straight ahead behind Mangold for the first down. So the center, Nick Mangold, 6'4", 290-pound senior, leads the way. We are live at the top of the hour from the Horseshoe. You look down on that scene, and this is our Pacific Life game summary. Texas broke to a 10-0 lead. But the Buckeyes regrouped. Troy Smith struck Santonio Holmes for a touchdown. A field goal, and we were deadlocked at 10. Then A.J. Hawk and the linebackers went to work on Vince Young. We've got a timeout, and we'll take a break. 7:27 over on the board. Ohio State leads Texas, but only by 6. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Singular, raising the bar. Allstate, are you in good hands? Dr. Pepper in your local Dr. Pepper bottle, or Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Lowe's, where you'll find all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, where improving home improvement never ends. 1st down and 10 for the Buckeyes. Zwick still the quarterback. Ball just across the Longhorn 40-yard line. Ohio State leading at 22-16. Zwick in a foot race, wants to set it. Gets it into the tight end's hands, and this time Hamby hangs on with Aaron Ross defending.
You can see right there the difference in starting position in this game has allowed Ohio State. They have not been able to score touchdowns, but they've controlled the game with these turnovers and field position.
Our record crowd here in the Horseshoe. 105,565. Here's 2nd down and 6. Zwick spreads the field. Gonzalez came over to the right. Under pressure, again, grabs it, stepped out of bounds, very close to the first down marker. Ginn looks back. He thought he had it, but
he did. Yes, he did. You're right.
Back now, and the officials are going to take a closer look at this ball.
Boy,
where he stepped out over there.
Justin Zwick throws a nice ball. This one is right on the hands. When in doubt in a tight ball game, you got to dive forward and stretch that ball out. Looks like he got it.
Close.
Looks like he got it. Yep.
Let's check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, Justin Zwick, many people thought when Troy Smith won that Michigan game might have been relegated to the bench. His quarterback coach, Joe Daniels, thought he might transfer. In fact, Joe called him in the office and said, look, I'll help you to transfer if you think that's what you want. Justin told his coach, said, no, I'm really happy with what I'm doing. I got my friends here at Ohio State. I want to enjoy it. If it means sharing quarterback chores, so be it.
And he's doing just that here tonight. Jack with a first down. Zwick on the field. And they're banging Pittman behind the right side of that line. Thibodeau and Michael Huff. And again, a reminder, regional coverage next week. The Hurricanes attempting to regroup, and they'll take on a Clemson team that has had a couple of big victories. San Diego State will come in here to Columbus and play these Buckeyes. Second down and 10 yards.
Got to be thinking, what is Jim Tressel thinking? One more field goal puts it more than an 8-point game. His kicker has been perfect. He's controlling it. He loves to play the kicking game.
Gotta hurry. Deflected, but right to Pittman.
Gee, oh my, oh my.
A completed pass, and Robinson, the big fella, just knocked it right to the running back.
40-inch vertical jump. This guy's been using it to do. Number 39 right there. And man on the line of scrimmage. Nobody blocks him. Pittman is supposed to block him. He goes up, he reads it. He had the tight end wide open, did Justin Zwick. And Pittman, you have on a short pass play, if you're a running back, you have to attack the end man on the line of scrimmage just for that reason, and Pittman didn't do it.
If they're playing field position for the field goal, they'll throw it underneath and get as much as they can and send Houston out. They won't worry about the 14. Zwick deflected, incomplete. Here comes Houston, and this will be a long one.
Yeah, losing yardage on that play. That was a huge play by Brian Robinson that time, knocking down that play, because that took him out of field goal range. Almost.
A 50-yard attempt for Josh Houston. He's been perfect so far tonight. A 50-yarder on its way. No good. So it stays at 22-16. Now it's Vince Young's turn. Can he lead still another comeback in the teeth of this record crowd in Columbus, Ohio?
It only took 2 minutes for this town to be destroyed. To a little girl who lived through it, this is more than a teddy bear. It's a step towards normal. It's why Allstate catastrophe teams not only have hot coffee and help for grown-ups, they've also handed out more than 12,000 teddy bears to kids. People come first. If you're an Allstate customer affected by Hurricane Katrina, please call 1-800-54-STORM for help.
Come on, hurry up. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing.
Fall in love with the rich, bold flavor, Dr. Pepper. One taste, and you get it.
I pulled into Nazareth, was feeling about half-past dead. I just need some place where I can lay my head.
More bars in more places. That's the goal of the largest digital voice and data network in America.
He just grinned and shook my hand.
Singular's all over network. Singular, raising the bar.
On Wednesday, September 21st.
What am I looking for? Lights.
It begins.
Dave, I wouldn't do that.
Invasion. Wednesday, September 21st, 10/9 Central. Only on ABC.
Josh Houston just missed a record 6 field goal for the Buckeyes. Mike Nugent hit 5 at North Carolina State. Bob Atha back in the 80s had 5. And now Vince Young coming out from the 33-yard line. Fakes the inside handoff. Fires. Diving incomplete, but there is a penalty flag thrown. There is a penalty flag. Tyler Everett with coverage on the play.
You're allowed in college to jam a guy downfield, but not while the ball is in the air. Everett got a piece, and that ball was being thrown at the same time. That's the way I looked at it up here, at least.
Pass interference, defense. It'll be a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Let's see how much of a piece we got of him on this one. Tyler Everett coming down, ball's in the air on the stutter right now, and he grabs him. That's penalty. That stutter play, perfect call on first down that time by Greg Davis. That was a nice call.
Young and the Horns are near midfield. Crosses midfield. Out of bounds. Schlegel, the linebacker, forcing him out on that far side. Well, the Peak Antifreeze Indy race is tomorrow. Jack Arudeby taking off. Help out on that coverage. 1:30 Eastern right here on ABC. Danica Patrick had been running real well up there. We'll see how that turns out. 22-16, 4:47, second down and 6. They're coming. And Young had one-on-one throws incomplete. Taylor broke it off at about the 25-yard line, but there was heavy pressure on the Texas quarterback.
That time from the short side of the field, Ohio State brought the blitz. They've started playing man-to-man coverage, and Taylor, a converted running back, did not read that play, and Vince Young just had to throw it away.
Here's third down and 6. Clock inside 5 minutes. Timeout has been called. The Longhorns will use their first here in the second half. Mack and the Horns offense will talk it over. We'll be right back. This is a tribute to the Ohio State linebackers. In that first drive, Vince Young ate up 52 yards. Since then, 14 rushes for only 17 yards. And they have repeatedly put on pressure. The defensive tackles have been twisting. The linebackers have been jumping in and out and moving around from position to position. Young has not been able to determine where they're always going to be. First down as he hits the freshman coming out of the backfield. And Charles, stumbling his way, has got it for the Longhorns. And Vince Young, the comeback kid, could be mounting another one here.
Yeah, so Vince has been forced out of his running game, but he's answered in the passing game. He has almost 240 yards throwing the ball against this Buckeye defense, and you may stop him in the run, but he's answered tonight that he can throw the ball when necessary.
The slot is off to Vince's right. The Buckeyes were coming, and Young trying to get outside. And a brilliant play by Whitner. Whitner was coming up and showed blitz, had a blocker on him, was able to get around and take Young down, who is slow getting up right now. Remember what we said at the top of this broadcast. The number of hits. Take a look at that jersey. Look at the punishment that he has received here tonight.
I wonder if he fell on the ball here or what. Whitner gets him low, and who gets him high? Is it Carpenter gets him high? Watch Whitner take him low. Carpenter cleans it up, forces him down, and gets him right on the back that time. I don't know if it's back or what, or left shoulder, but he got Bobby Carpenter never gave up on the play and got that extra hit. And that's exactly the punishment.
So Matt Nordgren's going to have to come in the game. The training staff is on the field, I believe, unless we had a timeout called. Yes, we have had a timeout called by Texas because of just that. So
and with the timeout, he can enter back into the play.
Absolutely.
And I think to keep him on the field, that's an excellent timeout.
Do you think? Just in case. Nordgren is out of Dallas, Texas. He's thrown just a few passes. He's also the holder for the kicker. Out of the helmet with Carpenter.
What's tough
Part
for
of the trio of fabulous Ohio State linebackers.
What's going to make it tough for Ohio State is it's really 4-down territory right now. Unless it's 3rd or 4th and very long and they take a field goal, if it's 4th and possible, they're going to go for it.
Only one timeout remaining for Young and the Horns. They trail it by 6. 2nd down and 9. Three-down lineman. They rush 5 out of it. He's got it. Can he get the first down? Let's see where they spotted. He was stepping out of bounds. He was close to it. Charles again. Lacey from the backfield.
Really surprised Ohio State is having trouble with this play. It's the same play they completed last time. Texas is keeping their tight end and fullback in. They're only sending 3 people out, and Ohio State has failed to cover the running back on both plays.
3rd down and 1. Charles stays in as the running back. Young always dangerous in 3rd and 1. Young driving forward. He might not have gotten it. There is a penalty flag. The line judge threw a flag. And the way Texas is applauding, that's going to go against the Buckeyes, and that'll give them a first down.
A.J. Hawk on the tackle for Ohio State.
You can see Mike Kudla, number 57, is lined up off sides at the snap, and that was a pretty easy one.
3:44 and 1 timeout remaining. The Horns need a touchdown on an extra point. 316 of Texas' 340 yards. Twist for the rush. The freshman is thrown back. Carpenter was in on top of it, and David Patterson.
Schlegel was in there diving in on that play, taking on a blocker. All 3 of the linebackers. Patterson was in on it also. This Ohio State front 4 and the substitutes they've been bringing in have been playing some great football.
Late defensive substitution. Buckeyes send an extra defensive back, the nickel man, Mitchell, number 32, who has been playing nickel all night. They'll rush 3. Carpenter moves up into a gap. Now you back out. 2nd down and 9. Got a lot of time. Throws in zone. Cut! Touchdown, Texas! What a great play for the Horns. As Vince Young comes up with a 24-yard scoring pass to Limas Swede, the X-Man.
Nate Sally could not quite get there. It was right on the end line. The ball was perfectly thrown to the tallest receiver Texas has.
Now an extra point, and it doesn't get much bigger than this one. Pino right here.
And I think you're going to get a replay on this one.
We watched replays several times in the Michigan-Notre Dame game. You all know that they use it in the Big Ten. It's not a coach's challenge. Gary, let's
Nate
take a look.
Sally is the guy who doesn't quite get there. Watch this perfect throw. He just flicks it. Swede catches it.
1 foot down. Take another view.
He was definitely in. Did he bobble the ball? That's what they'll look for next.
No question he was in the end zone.
Yes. Catches it, bobbles it, comes down. and he's got it. At least in my opinion. Nice play by Swede. 1, 2, catches it, elbow comes down. I think it's pretty clear, but I think it's good that they checked it.
No question they should check this. This is such a huge play. It was exactly what they should do. Then they don't have a referee with a hood on over the sideline. Decision will be made upstairs. The official right there.
Look at that official. Look at that ball thing right there. Kept his eyes completely on the football and made the call.
And they will tell him on the field here as to what the decision. And again, it is the observer upstairs. We have Big Ten replay officials, even though we have Big 12 officials on the field. And for a few moments here tonight, and Tressel was told, along with Mac Brown, they couldn't find the pagers for the officials.
The play is confirmed as called.
Touchdown, Texas, now an extra point away from the lead.
The only interesting thing is, because of the review, in essence, it iced the kicker just a little bit. You're going to use a timeout. It's just an extra point.
If it was a 50-yard field goal, I might buy into that.
Maybe I'm flashing back to last week again.
That's true. Well, McGee missed the first 3.
They had 3 misses.
So here comes Pino. He took over the kicking here tonight. Matt Nordgren, the quarterback, will put it down.
2 blocks last week.
Schrader is the center. Got it. Texas leads it. 45 points scored here tonight. And Vince Young comes up with another big play. Swede makes a great catch, and Sally can't jar it loose. What a football game this has turned out.
Daddy, are there monsters?
On Wednesday, September 21st.
We're all okay. I love you.
One family's life is about to change.
How can I protect my kids when they're not with me?
In ways they cannot imagine.
I don't know what's happening to me. Mommy, you smell different.
Invasion. It begins Wednesday, September 21st, 10/9 Central. After the season premiere of Lost, only on ABC.
2:37 to go, and I suppose if there's anything you might want to second guess, it's the fact that Jim Tressel went for a 50-yard field goal instead of perhaps a pooch punt to make it a little bit tougher for the Texas offense. Nevertheless, Jim Tressel now has a tougher choice to make. You fans out there, which quarterback would you put in right now to run the 2-minute drill here? Who would go out for the Ohio State Buckeyes? Gary, you get the first vote.
You know
here.
I like Justin Zwick, but I would go with Troy Smith in this instance, so I have one more weapon, the scramble.
They'll kick it low on the ground. Santonio on a big hop. To the 30, ball's loose. Ross has it. Ross has it. Unless it was whistled down. No signal.
This one was not whistled down.
Texas football. Now the replay official again will look at this upstairs. Did his knee hit the ground before the ball came free?
I thought his back hit the ground, but I don't know if the ball came free. See, I thought his back hit the ground and then the ball came free. He gets hit, turns, gets hits again, has the football, goes down, and the ball pops out.
If he was down, do you think he was down, Gary?
Yes, I do. I think he was down. Let's see how good we are.
So again, the observer upstairs will run those replays back and forth, take another look at it. This is the first year that the Big 12 will also employ instant replay in their games. I think he might have asked for the spot right now.
Yeah, Troy Smith and Justin Zwick have their helmets on the sideline.
After review, the player was down. It will be Ohio State's ball. 1st and 10 from the...
And I think that in both instances, correct decisions were made. And that's what you ask of instant replay. Zwick. So it will be junior Justin Zwick from Massillon with 2:30 up on the scoreboard. Tressel figures that the bowl game, the first game, going through all those practices, that he might be able to handle the 2-minute drill here a little bit better. However, on 3rd and 1 or in the red zone, they might switch quickly back to Troy Smith, who's a little bit better runner. Now the Horns, they've identified who the quarterback is. Zwick in the shotgun. Takes off. Fumble, no question. Ball loose. Texas. Robson's got it to the 20-yard line. Drew Kelson knocked the ball free. There is a penalty flag. There probably is a celebration on that far side. That would be my guess. Brian Robinson and now wait a minute. Mack is livid about something.
Justin Zwick, no one open on this play, starts to scramble.
That's their first sideline warning of the game. 1st and 10, Texas.
Much ado about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Much ado about nothing.
It was a sideline. They came out on the field.
Right.
And, you know, and why not? This is just a huge, huge development of this football game. Zwick gets it. Now watch him knock the ball out. Look at that. Kelson, who's been playing linebacker on the strong side, is a natural safety. He's one of those lighter linebackers that Mack wanted to employ. That is the Buckeyes' first turnover this game. Gary, it came at a horrendous time.
I know that I'm in the minority, but I like quarterbacks to hold the ball in their passing hand, because they never have it. They're not used to holding it in their left hand. I know a lot of people think they should switch. I don't.
Now Young and Charles go to work on the clock. The freshman picks up almost a dozen yards on that run. And the Horns are banging in again, up by 1 with 2:11 to go.
Brent, a touchdown by Texas would still give Ohio State a chance to tie the football game. If they do it, they have to have time on the clock to do it.
We've had great aerial shots tonight, courtesy of our friends at Outback Steakhouse, proud sponsor of the Outback Bowl. The Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion, provides aerial coverage for sporting events across the country. Tressel checking that clock.
They can't let Texas just take a knee and win the game.
Charles. Carpenter up on the stop. So the Bucs will use a timeout here. Big smiles over there on the Texas sideline. The coaches relaxed. They think they've got this one well under control right now.
I got the feeling, though, that the coaches' smiles were forced, and Vince Young is a lot cooler than they are right now. He seems as relaxed as you can be. Great play by Robinson in this game, and Drew Kelson coming across and ripping that ball. What a play.
So with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. As good, if not better than advertised. Number 2 Texas and number 4 Ohio State. All night long. Texas once went out by 10 points. The Buckeyes battled back, took the lead, went out by 6. Horns hung in, kept digging in, and finally Vince Young fired a touchdown pass, and they're up by 1, 23-22. Now, after Ohio State's first turnover of the game, Young and the Horns are trying to close the deal in the first ever meeting between Ohio State and Texas. The rematch next year in Austin. I can hear folks scrambling for tickets already. If that one's nearly as good as this one, you're in for a great, great football game. Both of these teams deserve a lot of credit, no matter who wins this game here tonight. Vince Young crashes across the 5-yard line. A.J. Hawk in on top of him.
Ohio State takes their last time out. Tressel's on the field.
Let's update the game plan, Gary.
Sure. Texas in this game wanted to stay balanced. I think Ohio State did a great job of that. They forced them into a passing game. Young answered. Yards after catch. Did Teddy Ginn or Santonio Holmes catch a short pass and do anything? No. Texas did a great job of that. 3 sacks on the Buckeye quarterbacks. The story of the game, though, Ohio State couldn't get it in the end zone when they were down there 3 times.
If I didn't know better, I would say that Ginn was another victim of that old cover jinx. What's that magazine I like to read every week?
Yeah,
but I won't say it because I like those fellas. Here's that touchdown strike moments ago. And then Zwick taking off as the ball knocked free. Robinson recovers it. And it is now inside the 5-yard line. A 3rd down coming up for Vince Young. These folks who traveled up Texas way, they've been treated to a great evening of football, and so too have the Ohio State fans. Man, that party's about to begin, isn't it?
Which way will they run the quarterback draw on this one? It isn't going to leave his hands.
He's going to take it around the left side, short of the end zone.
Nice job. Early in their game, he might have dove out and tried to stretch that ball across, but in that instance, he covered up, got hit, got nailed, but he did not fumble the football. Ohio State can't stop it.
No matter what happens here in the next minute, Vince Young leaves a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah, you bet he does.
There is no doubt about that, folks.
You would expect Vince to take one of those dives, but ball possession right now, when he looked up and saw Bobby Carpenter sitting right there, he said, I better make sure I don't fumble this one.
Hawk and Carpenter made a little sandwich. Of course, Carpenter is the one who uttered that quote. Our goal is when Vince Young leaves here, he won't be a candidate for the Heisman. Scratch that one goal. Game still on the line here with 29 seconds to go and everybody out of timeouts.
I agree with you 100%, though. That is not trash talking.
No,
that's football.
Absolutely.
That's what everybody's goal should be when they play against a Heisman Trophy guy.
I kind of chuckled at that and said, what the heck? That's exactly what Carpenter should think.
And for the most part, they've done their job.
And, you know, Carpenter will congratulate Young after the game. He will, you know.
And how close was that? How close was that field goal from 50 yards? What was it? A foot wide?
Just a foot wide.
A foot wide, and they don't have to gamble.
Remember, they lost about 4 yards in that series. That was when you go back and look at the yardage lost just before the Buckeyes missed that field goal, it has come down to a couple of feet here tonight. That's all that separated these two fine football teams. And as a fan, these are the kind of games we want. We don't give a gosh dang about January right now. We want some action.
Interesting strategy here. Will they go for it? I think they may just go for the touchdown. Because you don't want to give the ball back to Ohio State. There's the kick. That's how close this thing was for Ohio State icing it. What was that, a foot?
No more.
They're going to go for it. Good call by Mack Brown. They got the big guy in, too.
That's Henry Melton. Here comes Mack's truck. Option to him. He'll walk it in. Did he cross the plane? No signal down there. Melton wants it. They're conferring Did he get the ball across the plane of the end zone?
I'll tell you, Melton slowed down there, trying to kind of hot dog the dive.
They say he didn't.
This will be a review, but I watch him slow down when he gets this ball. I'm surprised they pitch it to a freshman. He comes up, now watch him kind of ease into it, gets ready to dive. Oh, he get that ball across. That ball is across that line. Is he outside the pylon?
That's the question. I don't know that it's conclusive here.
Lower your head, you're 275 pounds. Your Bodie hits him. He didn't even stretch the ball. That could be short.
I think he was outside the pylon.
That could be short. Holy cow, that's
I think he's outside the pylon, and Troy Smith, it looks like, is going to trot out here for the last 25 seconds.
If that 276-pound guy can't run over Yabodi on that play.
If he can find his high school teammate from Cleveland's Glenville High School, can they get Teddy Ginn loose? Smith. There's the safety. There's the safety with 19 seconds to go. Aaron Harris takes Troy Smith down in the end zone.
Now we'll see an onside kick from Ohio State. You can see it right in the middle right there. Comes in, he's spying on Troy Smith. Good job. He sees it, he sees Troy Smith's not going to scramble, so he accelerates as the spy guy and gets the safety. You're in the end zone. Nobody really to throw to. You got to let it go there. You just got to throw it up and hope for something. Troy tries to go up and too quick. Aaron Harris just too quick for him, number 2.
25-22. 3-point Texas lead. The one thing Mack and the Horns don't want to do, of course, is put it in the hands of a dangerous return man. But 19 seconds remaining.
Well, they'll
try to kick it down low on the ground. They've used that.
They'll receive the ball here after the safety.
That's right. What am I thinking of? Safety, of course.
Ohio State will try the onside kick and try to get the ball back.
Got to first get the ball, then we find Ginn.
A lot of stuff has happened in this football game.
He's got it set on that tee to do just that. High hop, down goes the Horns at the 32-yard line there. So now without any timeouts, Vince Young, and just simply run out the clock, and Texas will go back home with a hard-fought, well-deserved victory against a very game Ohio State team that now will regroup. Now let me take you through we've had 7 years of BCS Bowls, I believe. That means we've had 14 teams play for the championship. 5 of them have reached the title game with 1 loss. Ohio State's not completely out of it, but their chances are less than 50%. Meanwhile, the Horns are soaring. And the big question now remains, can they get past Oklahoma and run the table this year and go back to the Rose Bowl? What a great football game. Mack Brown is telling Jim Tressel just that.
Gave Vince Young one too many chances.
Yes, they did. I really wonder if Jim would...
Oh, he would not throw the ball down there when he was in field goal range. I'm telling you, I thought they were just going to kick the field goal.
Let's check in with Jack with a very happy Mack Brown.
We're going to bring Mack over to his superstar and get both of them. Mack, come on over here. All right, tell me about this guy.
I think he's the best player in the country at his position, or maybe any position, because he competes. He doesn't get down when something bad happens, and he just continues to play till we win.
Vince, can you categorize this win? Can you tell me where it fits in all of your accomplishments?
Man, this is the place that we want to be as a team overall, man. We went out here and fought. The fans stayed with us, and coaches did a great job getting us prepared this week.
Now, you went down, and it looked like it was maybe an injury. What happened to you?
A little head injury. I got a little dizzy a little bit. Coach, at least we had some good timeouts to take one and got myself back and back in the game and make some plays.
Mackey got dizzy. Maybe you need to get him dizzy more often.
He stays dizzy, but I like it that way. And thank goodness the coaches saved the timeout so we could let him have a breather. And what a competitor.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Vince Young and the Texas Longhorns win a historic showdown with the Ohio State Buckeyes. And A.J. Hawk and Vince Young, two of our brilliant stars here tonight. They'll be the Chevrolet players of the game, and in recognition of their effort, Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. So many people to thank for this great broadcast. The executive producer, Mike Pearl, the senior producer at ABC, Bob Toms, the coordinating producer, Bob Goodrich, who produced tonight's game, directed by Steve Bime. The TD was Randy Hargrove, the associate producer, Will O'Toole, our associate director, Brian Fay, and the PAs, Dan Barr and Julie Norman, the production manager, Kevin Windling, and our technical manager, Mark Towie. On the computer stats, Craig Rothberg. Up here, George Hill, the spotter, Brian Mobilson, the score bug operator, Jason Polstein. And we'd like to also thank the SIDs, John Bianco at the University of Texas and Steve Snap from Ohio State University. We want to thank you for everything, and especially we want to thank these players from these two schools. What a night of college football they gave us. ABC Sports is online now at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. And a reminder, the NFL heats up. So Monday night, join Al and John when the Eagles take on the Falcons at 9 Eastern on ABC. Again, our final score on a classic, 25-22. Texas wins it. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television. For Jack Arute, Gary Danielson, and our entire ABC gang, I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.